Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves an upper bracket finals here today for the ISL 1 Malaysia qualifiers. My name is DK Truman, and I am joined by Estini for this exhilarating match.
Yeah, a pleasure to be here. It's a match that has a lot of rivalry. Most of the players, they played together with each other on the past. And both teams, they showed a very good performance on this upper bracket of the tournament. So very excited to see what they're bringing to today's match.
Yeah, these two teams have played against each other quite a bit, and I assume behind closed doors they're probably each other's favorite scrim partners, considering, as you mentioned, they've all been pretty much in each other's teams in the past. Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting matchup. We saw, of course, we got the honor of casting Entity yesterday against BetBoom. That was an interesting series. The drafts were weird. But yeah, that's kind of how they like to run things. Their drafts are weird, and well, that is exactly what Gladiators also do, because I remember a nice Duracho safe lane Mars and all those weird shenanigans coming through.
Yeah, I think the weird drafts, they will become the normal drafts. I believe those weird drafts are the teams that are actually playing the meta, that you don't want this greedy carry anymore. You want this sort of position 2, very active hero. So I believe it's something that we're going to see on the major also. A lot of those Razor carries, Bristleback, Bloodseeker, a hero that you are not stuck jungle farming, but you're basically always showing lane. You are able sometimes to initiate team fights, such as CK. You can tank ganks, and you go for the early BKB. So it's pretty interesting that it's becoming the meta. I'd say Entity, they go a bit even more crazy than those heroes. Sometimes they bring OD safe lane, Necrophos, some different heroes. But it's super exciting to see which one are they bringing today.
Yeah, definitely. It's a weird matchup between these two teams. I assume, just out of the gate, probably an Eng ban by Entity. I think, Celery can't play the Eng because that normally tends to be very tough matches for these two teams, for any team to deal with. And any other bans that you really expect to be taken care of immediately?
That's the thing. I don't know what they have in their mind as Entity, because you're against Gaming Gladiators, you want to ban the Ink? Yes. You also want to ban Beastmaster. You also want to ban Puck. You also want to ban Dawnbreaker. So which of those heroes are the biggest problem? That's the question. I think Navi, they ban Dawnbreaker and Puck. I would go with something like Puck and Ink. And if you have first pick, I believe you need to steal one of those heroes, so you don't need to ban that much heroes. So maybe you first pick Tank Entrance, maybe you first pick Puck. I think Puck is so strong that if it's not banned, it should be first Puck from both teams.
Yeah, Puck is definitely very strong. Both these mid laners like playing it. They're also probably one of the only ones that still play Queen of Pain mid. Stormer and Boom, he never really stopped playing the Quap. He's also one of the mid laners that still plays Storm Spirit, which there's also not too many of those around left with the changes in the last big patch. Well, big patch. So definitely a couple of interesting choices here. Tiny is, of course, going to be heavily contested because, well, it's Tiny. It's a broken hero. Well, not broken, I would say, but just the initiation is incredibly massive. Entity's Clockwork, I think, for Fishman will probably come out in this series as well. There are a couple of heroes that you can't ban everything, and that's the problem. They have very big hero pools in comparison to, for instance, let's say Panda from the Thunder Awaken, who has 3 heroes. These guys can play everything.
Yeah, but the thing is, Clockwork, for example, is a hero that's very bad against summons. And both teams, they love to play heroes with units. So I'm curious about, are you picking the Clock, risking playing a Clockwork against a Beastmaster? Also, Puck's not that great against units. So maybe they let the Puck through if you don't ban Beastmaster, for example. So then you can play Beastmaster against Puck. Very interested on what they are bringing on this kind of mind game, because both teams, they have somehow the same hero pool. I'm not saying exactly the same, because as you mentioned, there's the Queen of Pain. And if you want to talk about unique, like Stormer, he plays Invoker of Fire, right?
Yeah, he plays the
I
X-Sword
guess-
Foker. That is what I want to
Yeah.
see. Give me the X-Sword Foker.
I guess he's like the only one playing the Fire Evoker in this patch, so
Close to.
there's some
close
unique
to.
things we can see.
As you mentioned, of course, draft is on the way, so we're gonna jump in right now to see the heroes that... Oh, I always forget about my audio that I need to turn on. The beautiful music of Dota. But yeah, the draft is right now going on. Let's see the Puck and Wyvern ban. Okay, Wyvern actually, that ban also makes a lot of sense. You mentioned both these teams like the kind of zoo offlaners with Beastmaster, Lycan, or Brewmaster, for instance. So Winter Wyvern is a very good ban against the zoo.
Yeah. And they don't go for the Enchantress first pick. They go with Marcy. That's something new they're bringing to the table. They usually open with Enchantress or Dawnbreaker. Now with the Marcy, they last played Marcy with a Beastmaster on 8. I'm wondering if they want to do something like a Marcy Visage on 8. And if Entity, do they want to guarantee the Chen, the Zeus, heroes that they played well on the last series, but that they're going to get banned if you don't pick here. There's also Tiny. Tiny Zeus sounds like a good match here.
I think if you're gonna pick up the Chen, that they're probably gonna just, you know, put the Marcy as a 4 position and still pick the Enchi. And then you're just gonna steal each other's creeps indefinitely.
I think it's fine for the Chen, especially because of their playstyle. Like Chen hits the mag timing really early and you can group up. They go with the Razor instead. They showed a very great Razor safe lane with Pure, and the hero was picked into counters, like into PA. So he doesn't really mind playing to those counters.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Yeah, interesting.
You did mention yesterday, you know, Viper is very bad against creeps and stuff, and then all of a sudden Viper destroyed every creep he encountered. Don't think that that is the norm, though. That was a very special case where he just went ham.
Yeah. I guess that was a huge exception. And they ban Enigmas. They're kind of worried of those summons. So you want a position 3 range to pair up with the Marcy 4. Usually you see those sort of Visage hero, but I believe they think Viper is better as a duo against the Chen. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, I don't like Viper against units, against summons. I guess it's a very dangerous pick, but I believe they are fine as a lane because they believe the Razor to be the safe laner. I just want to see if Entity, if they are able to pull some shenanigans. Something we see a lot being done by Beast Coast, for example. They love playing the Chen, and they like playing the Chen against Viper because they would pair the Chen with a Tusk hero, and then with a 3 lane, you're so great against Viper. So I'm wondering if Entity, if they can pull up this Tusk hero, Clock hero, and 3 lane against the Viper, that would be really game-breaking for Gaming Gladiators. The thing is, they could still flex the Viper to mid and maybe even to the position 5 if they see that the hero is super countered.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the Ratchet plays it safe, for that matter. It sounds like a hero that I think there has been a couple of Viper safe lanes picked during the DPC. I can't remember who was the one that did it, or even if they were successful, because the moment I saw that, I just, like, turned it off and walked away. Oh, but they do ban out the Ench, of course, because the Chen doesn't want to deal with those shenanigans. And yeah, while Razor, Entity loves playing Razor, doesn't matter who their safe laner is at the time, Razor is just a staple hero that they love to use.
Yeah, and again, I think they should take care with Bloodseeker. I mentioned this on the match they lost, right, yesterday, that if you're going for that long team fight, you definitely want to ban Bloodseeker and Monkey King. Since they have the Razor, you don't worry so much about Monkey, but you should definitely worry about a possible Bloodseeker. CK, also really great on those long team fights, is a unit hero against Razor, which is not also good dealing with so many creeps or illusions. He doesn't show waves so well. So those are the heroes that Entity should have in mind here as they go for the ban. I guess it's easier to ban Bloodseeker and pick a hero that deals with those units.
Yeah, Bloodseeker is a scary hero, of course, because it does counter a lot of heroes in the game. Like, you can't really pick a Pangolier at that moment, or Lycan seems like kind of a suicide play for the most part. We did yesterday get to see a very nice tiny Bloodseeker combo, where it was the toss back on the ruptured target, and he just got... I think it was Stormstormer that got rinsed with that combo. But considering, as you mentioned, they have the Razor, very likely that it's just going to be that pure Razor Secural.
Yeah, sometimes they like to answer the Razor with Weaver also. Like if you go for the carry-to-carry matchup, right? So there's Weaver, there's Morphling, there's PA. But we've seen a PA really struggling against that Razor. So I would still lean towards that Bloodseeker sort of hero. But GG, their playstyle would be something more like a CK. From their lineup, Demi is a position 5. You should usually pick that hero now, unless they want to flex the Viper to 5. The Enchantress banned, Chen is stolen. They do have the Io that they used to play a lot. Io CK sounds like a great combo here.
Io CK, yeah, then that would actually be pretty neat. A lot of damage to be thrown out. I would be a little bit worried about their possible lockdown, I would say. With the Viper already on their side, and Marcy's pretty okay. CK Sun is also pretty neat, but then you also have the IO, so it can get a little bit rough, especially when you're playing against a Tiny, because his lockdown is superb. So that's the only thing that I'm a little bit worried about.
Timbersaw!
Okay. So they want to flex the Viper either to 5 or mid. Timber, really great against Chen. And it's a hero that if you try lane with Tiny against him, you can't even kill him. If it was a Tusk, they could. But with Tiny, Chen, Razor, you cannot kill the Timber. So that kind of guarantees one lane for them. It's a pretty good pick here.
Yeah, it does look slightly more, you know, that they're going into that direction. Could still be a flex mid Timbersaw. And an offlane Viper if Entity pick up some kind of... Or they want to put the Tiny mid, for instance.
Radiant must choose.
Yeah, they played Timber mid the last game, right? So there's a high chance that they can flex this Timber to the mid lane. It's GG, they can even play Timber carry, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Doratio, I believe, can also play Timbersaw, so we don't actually know anything just yet. But it would be weird if you have a Timber IO lane, I guess.
I stick with my IO CK idea here. I think they still want the CK, so if it's not banned, I would bet they go the CK sort of hero. But Timber had a lot of value here. It's one of the best heroes against Chen. You're just gonna sit under a tower, and Chen wants to take down this tower, and he only has creeps. And Timber is so great against those physical damage from the creeps. You just like have massive amount of armor, massive amount of regen. You're pretty happy on that matchup.
Wouldn't you prefer to have at least a second hero that's also decent against creep? Because now it's only the Timbersaw that you have to deal with the Chen creep. So he always needs to be in the lane against the Chen.
It's fine. The thing is, like, this Bat Rider is extremely great against the Timber. So Timber will be chased by the Bat, and Bat is a hero that buy early BOT. So Bat's gonna have that advantage on TP cooldown, on move speed, and that makes the Timber game really rough. So on that sense, now they might need one more hero that does that.
It is Dire's ban.
Okay, and they ban the CK. They know you. They know that, you know, your mind, it works.
Oh my god.
You could go something like an Alchemist, because then you're just on such a fast tempo on GG that I don't think Entity can answer to that. Because Razor, you basically need that BKB or even BKB refresher to get online, and you don't farm Ancients, you don't like farm fast. And Alk can deal with the Chen creeps really well, like you love playing Alk into Chen.
Yeah, I think Alk would be actually a very stable choice here for that last pick on Gaming Gladiator side. You do, of course, have the chance of, you know, if you don't finish the game in time, which they don't really have that much push behind them, then you walk into like a brick wall in the late game where you do one lasso onto the onto the alchemist and your entire team fight's gone. Like that's it. You're an alchemist.
Yeah. The Darkseer Brillbands, like those are the two best counters for Terrorblade, but I don't think they would TB here. It would be too greedy.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Storm Spirit.
Okay, yeah. It's a Team Bear carry or a Storm carry.
Or Viper carry? I mean, it's Boom. He's gonna be playing the Storm. That's.
Oh, you can last pick Anti-Mage and flex the Razor. Free Anti-Mage game. Come on.
It is actually a very free anti-mage game, surprisingly enough. Oh, that would be pretty nuts. They have Storm, Drag, and they have Marcy Stun. That's literally all the control they have on Gaming Gladiators. And they're gonna go for the Morphling. Okay, it's not an anti-mage, but it is still putting the Razor in the off lane, it seems. And okay, I'm really digging Entity's draft here. Even though I don't actually know what Gaming Gladiators is, how are they even gonna lane this? What's the plan? Safe lane Viper. I did mention it briefly, so it was Dyrachyo that played it in the past.
Yeah, I like this Morphling last pick. I suggested the Anti-Mage, but the hero is far away from meta. The thing is, you don't see any catch on Gaming Gladiator side. So you can go with those hard carries that have this mobility. So after Anti-Mage, you have Morphling Riki. And Riki is not a hero also. So definitely a good Morphling game. Although the Storm can be pretty decent against Morphling. And I also think the Viper can be decent against Morphling if you go some sort of Vessel build. It's kind of weird going Vessel on your hard carry, but it's also weird going Viper hard carry. So I think they actually have some tools to deal with this Morphling. Seems like Entity, they have a sort of 5-man strategy with the Chen, but Morphling doesn't really meet this strategy. That's the thing. So I like Gaming Gladiator's game plan a bit more.
You're going for Gaming Glad. He's actually believing in the Viper safe lane. Okay. Okay. I am not. Just going out there. I am not. I'm going to go with Entity. I believe in the pure Morphling, Toby on the Razor. The Tiny with the initiation. I have the fullest of faith for Entity side. In this draft. I do, of course, still do very much like that Storm Spirit pick. It is very solid to have. I'm just, you know, they have 2 spells that lock you down to a degree. So they're definitely going to need to buy probably an Orchid as well on the Storm Spirit. And hopefully that can be enough. But it's going to be a rough game because you also have that big healing from the Chen behind it. And we know how much space they can create on the side of Entity. Very dangerous team. But again, Gaming Gladiators are a lineup that tend to win a lot of games with drafts that make 0 sense.
Yeah, but IO Storm, it's so great. Like, you allow the Storm to go for any item he wants to. Because sometimes as a Storm, you are forced to go this first item Kaya, so you have mana to sustain on the team fight, or you need to go BKB to make sure you're not dying on the team fight. Or even when you have BKB, you cannot be the one starting the team fight. You need to use later on, so you need someone to initiate for you. But when you have IO, it opens up so much possibilities for the Storm. You can go directly Orchid and be the initiator. Because you're going to be jumping, and you have the IO Hilo, you have the IO healing, you have everything from IO to make you be able to have this long team fight without worries about dying. So it's a very huge enabler for the Storm.
And Storm is also a hero that becomes really strong in the late game when you get to the point that you get an Axe, level 25 talent, plus the Shard, and then you just have lightning bouncing all over the place. It does a tremendous amount of cleave damage in that regard. So there are some nice things, and if the Viper Dyrachyo plays pretty much like we saw the Viper yesterday playing, then he should be still in a very comfortable spot, because that Viper went ham.
Sure. But I'm honestly very curious on how the game is gonna turn out. Like yesterday, you saw me, I was like pretty sure which team's gonna win, which draft's better. This game is just like exciting. I just wanna watch and see which draft wins, because I have no clue how they're gonna execute. Like there are two very smart drafts here. So if you tell what exactly you expect from a Viper carry, you're probably lying, because you haven't seen these heroes so
30
much.
seconds.
Like they know better than us what they're doing with those heroes.
I think I saw, by the way, in the Chinese closed qualifiers today, a Ricky played as well. I think they won even with the Ricky safe lane. So, you know, it's still a thing. I'm always hoping for, like, oh, this is a good Ricky or Slark game, and no one ever picks him. No one ever picks him.
The thing is, like, Ricky, it's great because you wouldn't die, but you also wouldn't kill. Because like, you cannot kill a Timber if you're Ricky. You just, okay, he's not gonna have mana.
Okay, jumping forward. A lot of damage coming in onto Toby. And Sully's gonna go for a bit of the body blocks. Toby is very, very, very slowly dying, but dying he indeed does. And Sully with the great block coming in. Tofu is gonna die in return, it seems. And Stormer should be able to get that kill. Does have rebound, needs a target to jump to. One more auto attack, and he actually gets out.
He probably regrets not having a stick right now. A stick would be more worth than these two Mangos and the South against the Bat Rider.
Yeah, he'd just be walking away with a nice 10-stick charge. Sriracha top side. Atomi toss on to the Razor, and Toby with the Static Link. A lot of damage to be dealt, but that movement speed from Tofu is pretty useful as well.
What's the Ayo Timber lane? Okay. We'll give that extra sustain that Timber needs on the first 4 levels actually. And then probably you leave the lane and start playing with the Storm.
Top lane, they're doing the exact same play. Sriracha is dropping very low, and is going to get taken down. I mean, Tiny works so well with a couple of heroes. Viper is one of them. Razor is another one of them. Just toss them on top of your your off laner, and he'll do the rest.
Yeah, so the Viper is indeed going for the Urn. But I think it's too greedy to rush Urn. He needs boots first item. Definitely, 100% sure. Because he's playing against DOS, and he gets the kill back. He's playing against DOS and a Razor, and since the Tiny went boots first item, Tiny has 340 move speed, he has 275, so he cannot escape for those type of DOS plays if he doesn't have the boots.
Yeah, top lane looks to be the area we're probably going to see most engagements go through between Toby and Daracho. And we also have Kataomi dragging the creeps behind the tower, as pretty much every position 4 tends to do these days.
Yeah, maybe the idea here for Viper is he knows there are going to be some trades on the lane, and he doesn't care so much dying as long as he gets the Urn charges. That's going to become a Vessel. So,
We can just mango rebound if need be, but don't want to waste the mangoes on something so frilly as staying alive. Yours actually having a pretty big struggle in that bottom lane, because he needs to be very careful against Ace, and he is also still not level 3 yet, and you really need the attribute shift levels.
yeah. It's going to be a rough lane.
Shouldn't die though, unless he makes a mistake, obviously.
Yeah. I think it's a lot about XP, this matchup. Like, you need the 6 on Morphling at the same time as the Timber's getting 6. So Fishman, he should be most of the time away from the lane, leaving the full XP to the Morphling. But that means that Fear is going to be standing alone, sometimes against 2 heroes, as now.
Yeah, and he also didn't level the waveform so that he could focus a bit more on last hitting, which obviously, you know, has its downsides if the enemy had stuns, but right now you can just attribute shift, walk away back to the tower every single time.
Huzzah!
Only mid's doing actually pretty well for Entity. Top lane, Toby struggling against Daracho. The tower lane equilibrium is constantly in the favor of the Viper. Okay, going in. have a toss back. Nice timing on it. The movement speed just ended, but Toby needs to be careful as well. Daracho, is he going to get taken down? Katomi going in. He needs one more right click. And will not even finish off Daracho. The kills come through, and that is huge for Gaming Gladiators.
You see pretty good rushing earn. I never said this guy needed boots to survive. Oh, he actually has the boots on this engagement, so he's super fine.
If you just get both, you know, easy peasy.
Yeah, but I guess like with boots, then you can get the kill for the earn charge. That's what happened. And you might be safe for one kill, but it's pretty decent. I guess Tofu is paying the price because now both of them are back with full HP, full mana. No, the rebound.
Great hero, very fun to watch. You can't kill him, just jumps away every single freaking time.
Yeah, 103. Really outplaying the Tiny on this lane. Explains why the first pick. Bot. Ace wanna go for Fear. Fear might die here. Fear really needs a stick, to be honest.
It's slightly annoying, but you know, he walks around with 1500 HP like it's nothing.
I'm wondering if he could dive as Ace here, considering he has an IO healing and 2 levels on the passive. But he just don't want to take risks, because also Morphling staying low like this, he cannot last hit, because he needs to be with the attributes on strength. So he's just gonna deny more a bunch of crits here.
And Boom's level 6, so you gotta be very careful of rotations. 18 magic wand charge. They're gonna defend the rune spawning right now. Actually, Celery spots out Stormstormer, but it should be the rune wherever it drops. Will it be secured here? It's bottom. Invis denied by the Harpy Stormcrafter. Chen gameplay coming in. Those zip onto Stormstormer, and it's a 3-man rotation towards mid. Stormstormer, can he get away? Kataomi, nice avalanche. Tosses away the bat as well. Nice save coming in. Fishman joins the fun. Stormstormer will be able to Firefly to safety and even farm a small camp while he is disengaging.
Oh, that was a beautiful toss to watch. Really well played by Katomi. But now, Bad needs to TP base, get resources. Okay, Chen is gonna get the XP and Storm. He also doesn't have mana, so he wants to go base also. Because Io doesn't have the Soul Ring yet.
Glorious thanks.
Do they have any stacks created? It seems Kataomi is trying to make sure that there are going to be some stacks for the Bat Rider to quickly clean up to get those bots at a reasonable timing.
AC got 6. Pure might be in danger. So, it's playing like really sort of passive Timber, but it's very interesting because Pure is not getting any last hits. Maybe I'm too South America on that matchup. I want to see him diving, but he's just, okay, Pure, not getting anything out of this. Okay.
A little bit scarier, but yeah, Chen comes back in. Can't really do anything to help, I guess, you know, give him some extra mana with that creep. Because right now, the Morphling attribute shift, straining all of his mana. And he's in a fairly rough spot. Does have the Morbid Mask, so that should at least sustain it a little bit better. But Ace is just having a super good lane. Honestly, all 3 lanes are going really well for Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah. The Storm has 1k net worth more than the Bat Rider, and always that you have a Bat Rider, okay, you can expect him to be a bit behind, but then you look at the jungle and you expect the stacks. They have like 1 stack in 1 camp. So no ancient stack.
2, a little bit. There's still 1 in the Radiant jungle, but for the most part, they haven't really stacked it that heavily. Fishman has been, I think, focusing on, you know, getting his own farm going. Gotta get that mech secured ASAP.
Yeah, and like Tiny's not the best hero for stacking. It's a melee 4. You can use the toss to do the double stack, but you don't have that much of mana pool to do that. And they are playing against an IO lineup, so the enemy team has a lot of capabilities of stealing the stacks from you. So it's hard to defend them also.
Not for you.
Yeah, the early game definitely looking very solid here for Gaming Gladiators. 2k net worth lead. Boom is top net worth, going for the Kai Assange first item. I have seen some Storms go for the Witchblade. I am so happy he doesn't.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
Going for Kai Assange and Storm. Has a regen rune, and that might mean he's going bottom, trying to kill Fishman. Not only Fishman, he wants Pure for sure. Pure might be in danger.
Fishman is dead, so Pure is slightly even more in danger. Now there's going to be a zip coming through. Who wants to continue? TP from the bat. There's still an IO behind it, but Pure attribute shift is pretty good to get him healed up as much as possible. And with some sort of TP rotation coming through, it's pretty A-okay. Oh, Celery tried to tether away, but just a half a second too late. Gets lassoed, and that's going to be a kill secured for Stormstormer. So the rotation did not really pay out the way Gaming Gladiators would have liked.
It paid. It paid a lot. It was amazing for GG. Like, they forced 3 cores on the same lane with 8 minutes.
I didn't see the Toby
Entity.
TP. I only saw the Stormstormer TP.
Yeah, that's terrible for Entity. Because Morphling, he cannot go top. And now he's like, okay, there's a Razor in my jungle. There's a Batrider. Okay, Batrider at least is back to mid right now. But basically, they're giving up on one lane with 8 minutes. And the off lane, which is your stronger lane.
Yeah, it's not going too well, I would say. They're still keeping the net worth at a 1 to 2k difference. Pure is also starting to look a little bit better on the Morphling at this stage, with attribute shift level 7 almost being at the ready as well.
Yeah. If you look at Toby, he's doing like the walk of shame. Going from bot lane to top without touching any creeps. And it feels really bad if you're a Razor, because Razor doesn't hit... Oh, Morph. Okay. Just morphing to 0.
Yeah, you see
like
the health pool
really...
on the
Yeah.
at the top, and you're like, oh no, he's dead!
I'm like, I'm theory crafting and someone is dying on the map. Like, I need to shut up. And Razor didn't touch any creep for the last 1.5 minutes. And he doesn't farm Ancients. That's really tough for this hero.
Boom is looking for a catch. Oh, there's some nice creeps to steal. And Pure wants to eat those creeps up. Stormstormer doesn't have a lasso for 10 seconds. Boom will not be able to get that Centaur. That one is for Pure. He'll walk away with it as well. Stormstormer's bots are very close, though.
Oh, Fishman, you're so dead.
Yeah, that's
actually
kind of
his chain tanks a lot, right? No.
It does do a lot. The damage was actually pretty significant there, but, you know, if there's no one rotating through to help out, then yeah, you're dead. If Tiny was there, they probably would have even been able to kill off the
Oh, they got Toby mid.
Toss back. Toby won't even finish off Tofu. It is going to be a killing spree for that safe lane Viper right now. He's got Dragonlance. He's going for the bots next. Global presence coming into play, and yeah, they're looking pretty aggressive, pushing everything out.
Yeah, I see this 2k lead. It feels something like 4 for me, because the heroes on GG side, on Entity side, they are not supposed to lose lanes, and they really fall off if they don't have a great lane. They cannot recover the game. They go for Tofu though. It's an important kill.
Top lane is in a bit of trouble, but there's a push back. Daracho TP through as well, and Tofu gets a jump target to disengage, and with the relocate from the side as well. But Boom takes a lot of damage, lassoed up, and the Storm Spirit gets taken down before he can respond. Stormstormer with the 5 dots on him will be taken down in return. Daracho does get finished right before the relocate comes through, and that fight went horribly wrong on the side of Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, they believe they were so strong that they could fight 3 into 4, and the lasso really got Storm off guard, and when Storm is killed as an IO, you don't have anyone to connect afterwards, so pretty well done by Entity with this engagement. Still 3k ahead, and they cannot take the tower because now you have a Storm full resources running at you.
Storm's running out of mana at the moment, but Toby's going to be the target. Together with Fishman, they will be able to get a nice double kill. In comes the IO with the extra mana regen, and they do get a bit of revenge for what happened prior.
Yeah, that's also the thing. You really lack siege damage as entity. You do have on the Morphling, but you don't want to show up to have that Manta style on the Morphling. So they did win one engagement, but then they cannot take the towers. So either they go back to their jungles and give back the farm, or they stay there and die. There's no option of taking the tower. Not that early.
Right now, how can they solidly recover from this? The net worth is... The only big plus is that the supports are really... Kataomi has a blink. Like, that's a big deal at this stage. Speaking of which, he misses the toss, and now he's luckily not dead. Tofu actually jumping in. A little bit too aggressively, uses his ulti to get rid of the dots, and will get himself out of there. That could have been big. Unfortunately, Kataomi had one creep blocking the toss back.
Yeah, but they were in 4, and GG they were in 2, and the Marcy made them run away. That's how strong the heroes on GG's side are. And now they know they've throw some spells, they can get the 20-minute room, jump to Stormer.
He does get the lasso going, but with the toss back, that's just going to be a lasso into nothingness, taken down. And that's a huge cooldown that they got rid of, because that's probably your only real way to kill off Boom for the most part.
Yeah, Boom is so happy now. He's happier by taking the lasso away than of killing the Batrider, because now has like 2 minutes of free game on the Storm.
And what's the game plan for Entity right now? Is it just farm and get this Morphling fat and try and win late?
You're gonna have the... Okay, they're gonna have Makans on Chen. They wanna set up one ward, protect this ward, and try to win a team fight with the Mak. Like, maybe you smoke for the 16 minutes rune. You can have like a ward on the enemy cliff. This one on top of the tier 1 tower dire. You set a ward, protect the ward. Some hero is gonna show up there farming jungle. You initiate that hero, and you try to do a clutch Roche. That's the way of coming back, but it's really hard. I'm not saying like it's easy, right?
Yeah, it's also against the Storm, and trying to steal Roche is kind of scary against the Storm, for obvious reasons. They do have a pretty decent Roche lineup, though. But right now, it's a 5k net with lead Gaming Gladiators, slowly but surely just suffocating Entity, forcing the cores all in the same direction on the map.
Is under attack.
But that's why you want to smoke for those power-up runes. They can really make the difference when you are behind. Maybe you get something like a DD or Morphling, and you can win a team fight with that. Or you get some sort of arcane rune for the Tiny, then he get to combo every time.
BKB on the Razor is going to be a pretty good timing, because they only have the Viper's ulti to really do with the BKB. Yes, that might be just in general a very big timing for Entity's heroes if they can get to that point. Pure is going to continue farming bottom lane. Isn't completely alone though, so always has to be a tad
up.
Scared. That was very quick. Toby gets chopped up easily.
But see, like Entity, they did the smoke, but they didn't drop the ward on the cliff. Had they dropped the ward, they would have seen the Viper. And Viper was the easiest kill, so... They kind of did the right thing, but... No, they didn't kind of do it, because the Mac's not ready, so they just smoke without Mac and without ward. It feels like they're desperate, because they are a team that they usually play a very high level of execution, especially with the Chen. So it feels weird to see a Chen smoking when he's 80 gold away from his Mac, when he doesn't have any ward to put on the cliff. And now it's Boom's turn to smoke.
Yeah, they're gonna go for a bit of a scouting mission. Probably want to take care of the tier 1 tower top. Gaming Gladiators aren't that great at taking Roche down themselves, though. It's definitely one of their weaker points. Going in for the chase. Stormer not get spotted. Has that blink dagger, which you now did reveal. They actually really need to make sure that the Kataomi solid timing on his blink dagger actually nets them at least a kill.
Yeah, 5k ahead, even though they don't get things on the rotation. They still have the better map control. They have the mobility with Io Storm. They have BOTs on Viper. 18-minute rune coming up, but the team that might control it is GG. So another problem for Entity. Arcane rune, that's huge for Storm.
Oh, Pure in mid. Boom wanted to catch him, but Pure was a little bit ahead of the curve right there. Jumps out in time. Observer ward placed, which is kind of these days one of the most obvious spots to place your observer ward. I need map changes. It's been a while since, you know, trying to figure out where can I even place a ward these days where they won't counter it immediately.
Just do the most obvious one. They don't expect you to be so dumb, and then you're just so smart.
Yeah, no, that usually doesn't work. The net worth is at the very least stabilizing, but Toby is just falling off of a cliff in terms of net worth. And Pure is still keeping up to a decent degree. Stormer as well, trailing them a little bit, trying to get those BKB timings. Pure does have his Manta now done. So finally his first real item secured. Skadi is going to be his next, but this... Yeah, Doratio, once he gets his BKB, is going to be a terrifying hero as well. Haven't seen too much of the Viper this game, but... Well, yesterday we did see how absolutely terrifying it can turn out to be.
Yeah, and then he didn't go for the Vessel. He probably knew Morphling was going for a Manta, so he didn't waste that gold. So, yes, Manta is great on Pure. He needs the items, but it doesn't have so much value, considering, like, Boom didn't go for the Orchid, Viper didn't go for the Vessel. So he's not really dispelling very important things.
Ace is also very close to his Lotus Orb. Pretty much is done with the Lotus Orb, just 100 gold away. Storm BKB into Ags. Those are some very terrifying items that will be built up soon enough on the Gaming Gladiator side. And real counters as well. Especially once the Skadi does come to play on the Viper.
Yeah, once you have that Lotus Orb, you're probably using it on Viper, so he frontlines without being worried with a static link. And then the Razor cannot touch the Viper.
We'll wait and see. A nice smoke gank coming in. And yeah, Pure is the target. Stunned up. He's still in full agi and doesn't even get the swap in time. And that's a very neat little pickup there for Gaming Gladiators. Are they going to go Roche? They are going to go into the pit. Entity have just not been really making any moves on the map.
This hero IO, it really enables Roche with the extra attack speed.
And spell amplification as well on the Storm. Not too bad.
The Storm has shards. They can really burst targets with this early shard. It's such a strong shard in the early game, especially when you're snowballing. It's gonna be funny when they hit the chain creeps. They're just gonna disappear out of the map.
Well, that's pretty much what Boom has been doing the entire time. Anyway, he's using them as just extra farming tools. Easy pickups, thank you very much. And a 9k net worth lead here for Gaming Gladiators. They're just completely tearing apart Entity. But then again, Entity are not really doing anything, to be fair. They're just trying to find some farm and slowly but surely losing every bit of net worth on the map.
Yeah, it began on the laning stage, right? GG, they were really smart setting up lanes. You don't expect a Viper carry, so you really expect your Razor to be winning his lane, and he didn't. And then that TP bottom that they forced on the Razor, feels like the cores on Entity, they're not scaling. Just the Morphling, but feels like that Morphling cannot take part on team fights. He need like Skadi, BKB to be able to, and that's probably gonna be too late. Storm Spirit with Arcane Rune, he really wants to fight. Also Aegis. Feels like you have like 4 lives now as the Storm, because you have Aegis, Arcane, BKB, and an IO. Oh man, Boom's so strong.
And now you also have a Fishman. The Chen will be just faltering. Boom, cleaning it up pretty easily. Fishman pinging. There must be an observer ward there. Otherwise, you could have never seen me. Oof, tanking it with lead 23 minutes. It's just very slow death, it looks like.
Yeah.
Tommy with the toss back, at least waste a little bit more of that boom mana.
That's this like Simpsons meme that you get the guy out of the bar and then he's inside again.
I think I remember that meme. It's been a very long time since I've seen The Simpsons, first of all. Oh, Simpsons is an amazing show.
Very famous meme. You throw the guy out of the bar and then you're like happy.
Yeah, and then he's right
sitting
at
behind
the bar and he's drinking again.
Yeah, that's the storm. Against the tiny. Like now, if you ask me what Entity can do, I'm gonna bring some bad news. Like they can focus on next game. What is the hope here? Do you see anything as a hope?
I always have hope. There's always that one big team fight that a team can mess up. I've seen too many old school Liquid games to know that high ground is a team's worst enemy. Especially against a Tiny.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you have a point. That's why it's good to ask. Like, the toss back can be huge. Toss back into Lasso. That's something that they doubles.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. One smoke and then like a second and a half later, the second.
Yeah. Probably the guy wasn't looking. Okay, Lasso.
Onto Tofu, going in. Nice avalanche as well. They get the kill onto Tofu. Boom does still have that Aegis, obviously. Suddenly's actually in the middle of the fray. He doesn't want to be there. He's going to get blown up on the IO. Buyback comes in from the Chant so that he can use his healing. Boom is going to lose his first life, Toby. Going for the TP out of there, actually. That's going to be the Aegis pop. They kind of just need to disengage at this stage. They did get a lot, but Pure doesn't even get out of there. Nice avalanche coming into play again. And Katomi, he's just trying to keep them occupied. Actually, he tosses the Timber Saw on top of Pure by accident. And it is going to be a, well, still one fight it looks like. Yeah, Fishman's going to get chopped. That's a dieback coming into play. And BKB forced out onto Jirachi as well. They're going in onto Ace, but the problem is you don't have the Morphling for the damage.
Yeah, it was something. How was the trade? Because we have a dieback, so it was 3-4-3. If we're that behind, and Aegis, if we're that behind, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Still doesn't feel enough, but
no, it
shows they can do something.
They lost. During that fight, they had like, you know, they lost. It went from 12k deficit to 13k deficit. So, at least you got rid of the Aegis, so Storm can't be so wild in his approaches. He does have his Ags almost done, and that is a very scary prospect. But it does also show that they can die on Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah. But they are the team on cooldown on Entity, right? So now, GG, they can just go for the kills. No BKB yet on Toby. 5 seconds.
Next Toby will be the second one dead. And that's a good way to start pushing the high ground. If you kill off the entire enemy team, it's actually pretty easy to siege.
But Lasso is gonna be back. Thing is, no buyback on Tiny. They do have the glyph.
Yeah, but can you keep them at bay for 30 seconds without the Tiny or the Razor? To be fair, those are your two frontliners for the most part, so very unlikely.
There's a DD bottom for the Storm. Do he want to go on Pure? No. That's also the thing, when you lose Silence against Storm, it's really dangerous because the enemy team's gonna have the map advantage and they're gonna control the power up. And Storm is one of the heroes, if not the hero, that takes most benefit out of those runes.
They are looking to possibly get a catch. Ratcha would be a nice first kill, but primarily the big threat this game is Boom on that sword. Okay, Lasso again onto Tofu, quickly blow him up, but there's the AoE Electric Vortex, and they all get dragged back. The damage coming in, they're dropping so quickly, and that's the Aghanim Scepter reveal right there, looking for Pure. That's the real target that they want to take down, and Pure does not have a target or a way out of this. That's going to be the Morphling finished off. Godlike Boom with that double kill, with the double damage, AoE Electric Vortex, easy cleanup crew, Gaming Gladiators just rolling over Entity in game number 1. And I am very wrong again.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I don't judge you, man. I went for the white gas on GG because they seem to have better lanes, and the better lanes just snowballed into a way better game. So this IO Storm is always super strong. And Razor, Morphling, you don't do much to that. You just have the Batrider with the lasso, but it's not enough. Also, Ava is actually pretty good against the Storm, right? That's what Tiny might go for the Ava toss play when Batrider is back. But no lasso, so he's gonna toss to the tier 4 and then Storm just get away.
And then you're hoping that, you know, Adaptive Strike strength so that you push him further towards the fountain. Gotta make some weird plays happen at this stage. This 24k net worth advantage is probably a little bit too much, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Arcane Rune. That's probably what's setting for the GG.
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
Vise on Ace.
Going
Gary
for
on
the
Viper.
He's also going for the Shivas on the Storm, so you're gonna have all that nice AoE and then healing reduction against the Morphling, with of course that Scotty from Duracho.
Man, it feels so bad being a Chen playing from behind. He doesn't even have the creeps because he cannot go to the jungle. And then the Desperate Smoke.
Dire are scattered.
Oh, they get scanned as well. Oh, Gaming Gladiators know exactly what's up. Ace is just gonna stand there. Okay, hit me. Come on, hit me. All the way around they go.
Yeah. And soon the creeps on mid, they reach the base, which makes it 100% obvious. And they feel like, okay, we need to go back. Because now they know. Like now. Oh, now they know. The creeps are in base.
Oh, they're gonna smoke in return. The only one not smoked is Tofu.
But Chen got creep. That's the ward he needed to do for the road
Smoke
fight.
broke. Boom. They could kill him off. Maybe. They had a good the position right there with Kataomi, and he gets the Ava toss combo off into the lasso. They probably would have killed the Storm.
Yeah. But you see, they're showing the ward that I mentioned because I couldn't ping to. So yeah, that was the ward I would expect on the Macon's timing. It's a pretty decent ward to fight, but not when the enemy team is inside their base. Actually, it is. It was a worth try. I'm just kidding. And if they had Roche, they could maybe do a very clutch Roche, but the timer is still 1 minute, so now they need to go back.
Yeah, if Storm made a mistake there, you drag him back and kill him off, and hopefully he doesn't have a buyback, then you jump in Roche. At Aegis Shard, there's maybe a chance to come back. Okay, that does not give away that they're behind it. I don't know what is. The courier is flying over, getting killed off. Last one to Duracho doesn't take any damage in the process. They're looking for more, and Storm and the gang are just getting completely wrecked. Relocating his Duracho out of there for just a brief couple of seconds, but they are just easily eating up the entire entity lineup. Drag him back, smack him down. Game number 1, Gaming Gladiators. There was no threat during this entire game at all. There was no moment where I even contemplated that entity would have come back. It's just they slowly whittled them completely down.
Yeah. Because it's also a lot of props on GG because they didn't make any mistakes, so they didn't give the opening to entity come back into the game. Because the draft of entity is not really a coming back draft. As mentioned, like Chen, you want to snowball, you want to have more map control to get more creeps. Batrider, you need that vision advantage to initiate with lasso. Same thing goes with the Tiny. Razor, you're a hero that you don't farm ancient creeps, so basically you really need to be getting kills. You need to be getting damage with the static link. Thus, you need some early game advantage. And GG, they just outplayed on lanes, but that has something to do with the draft also. Like the Viper against the Razor was super strong, even though he didn't go with the boots, which opened up for some early aggression on the Razor Tiny side. On that dive that they died both Razor and Marcy, by that time it was already gone for Razor because it's a hard lane already, and if you die like this, it's gone. And then the Storm rotation on bottom that forced 2 core TPs. By that time, I felt like that GG had the game. If you're forcing 3 cores into a lane with 8 minutes, and the enemy team's getting an IO in exchange of that, you're probably winning the game.
Yeah, that definitely was it felt like that as well. I mean, originally it didn't, but then I saw that Toby also TP'd, and you mentioned that he did the walk of shame back towards the top lane, which was very sad to see happen. But that was Gaming Gladiators. Weird drafts, it is what they do, it is what they specialize in, but they still manage to make it work every single time. And with that, we will be going towards a break. Hopefully we'll see you guys for game number 2. And possibly game number 3. I'm really hoping for it, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll be right back. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 will be starting momentarily, but Estini, that game number 1 wasn't the biggest thrill ride I would have expected between these two teams, but it was very solid from the Gaming Gladiator side.
Yeah, it feels like it was a game that they won with the mind, and then they just pressed the buttons to guarantee it. Because from the draft, they had like the better lanes. They also had the better lanes composition inside the game, like having the Viper against the Razor. And then in the game, they made no mistakes at all to give a chance to Entity to come back. So they just played perfectly their draft, which left like nothing for Entity to do. So it might feel like Entity that they were underwhelming, that they played badly. But basically, it's because GG, they left no options for Entity. So they were on that kind of desperate mode of trying to do something on a game that you don't see any openings.
I predicted Entity to win, but I'll take your word for it. It pains me so to be wrong, but the draft for game number 2 is starting right now, and it's going to be the Tiny first pick. Kataomi did not really have the impact I would have expected in the previous game from Tiny, especially with his Blink Dagger timing.
Honestly, it feels like the Tiny was 100% outplayed by the Marcy. Like every time he would toss, the Marcy would save. So it's pretty interesting that they ban the Marcy and then they go with the Tiny, and that kinds of force Gaming Gladiators on a rough spot, because the other position 4s compared to Tiny and Marcy, they're kind of underwhelming. Unless you want to run something like a Dollbreaker 4, then it's a strong hero. But then like Nyx, Tusk, Earth Spirit, those other 4s, they're a bit weaker.
Yeah, Clockwork is still pretty good to try and counter out the Tiny, but I do like the fact that Entity decide not to give Tofu his Marcy again, and also make sure Celery doesn't play with the Ench either. Gaming Gladiators, Dawnbreaker, yeah, you mentioned it. Great hero, very strong, and I know that Gaming Gladiators plays it in a whole bunch of different roles. Diracho, for instance, also plays it in the safe lane if need be, so there is a lot of flex between that hero, and Dazzle it's slightly less so.
Yeah, so the Dollbreaker is very likely a 4, but it's GG, so it's very likely anything, right? It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't care. But it has been played as 4 by them, and they also open with the Dazzle. Dazzle, one of the strongest position 5s that we have in regards to laning stage, and this hero is super strong against Tiny. Tiny has 0 armor, so you really abuse the lane of this hero by having right clickers, physical damage. And Dazzle is the king of physical damage in the position 5. So if you get that poison touch on Tiny and one more hero to right click him, he's super dead.
Yeah, that is definitely always a very nice plus to have. And it's just annoying that, you know, it'll chase you down forever. Some teams like to just get an offlaner. I mean, back in the day, you'd probably pick like Legion Commander to deal with it, but you know, there's also the downside of duels not being able to secure kills in that regard. And Legion Commander is also kind of dead right now, so don't really think that that's going to be an option. Other heroes, Tide is still one that they could possibly run to deal with
Seeker.
the dots.
I like Seeker. Like, not position 3, not in lane, but in the game. Because then it goes back to that long team fight concept, like Dazzle, he's saving someone, but while he's saving, he's kind of guaranteeing that Bloodseeker is on that like top move speed. So Dazzle, those healing lineups, they kind of enable Bloodseeker. That's a hero that I really wanted to see in this series, because I think it's really good against the way that both teams draft. They go for the Enigma, that will somehow guarantee that the lane equilibrium is always good for them, so that the Tiny isn't that out of position to get the poison touch. It also frees up a lot the Tiny to rotate. So if you're GG now, you're really considering a hero that doesn't care so much about those tiny rotations. A hero that you mentioned on last game, Queen of Pain, Void Spirit sort of hero. Ember Storm is quite dangerous, because till you're level 6, you die Tiny. So then, or maybe Zeus. right?
Oh
Hero
yeah, that's
with high
also
mobility.
a high movements hero. That yeah, sure. Zoogs, one of the most annoying mobile heroes in the game right now. And
Yeah.
was it even contested last game?
Yeah, and this game also you have the surplus that he has the Nimbus against Enigma, so Enigma offlane, Zeus mid, you're probably getting that Aghanim's on a good timing before the BKB on Enigma, and you kind of force him into BKB, which is very interesting. Like, Enigma will have BKB by the time you have Nimbus, but he won't have Dagger. So either he goes Dagger, and then there's a time that he can Black Hole and you're gonna cancel it, or he goes BKB and he doesn't have the really initiation too. They go for the Bloodseeker ban. I'm so happy, man, because I see like they have a same point of view with the Bloodseeker. On the bad side, we are not gonna see the Bloodseeker.
10 seconds remain.
Bloodseeker. I mean, considering the bans of Entity, they already banned out the Bristle and the Alchemist. And Gaming Gladiators ban out 2 other heroes that are pretty good against tanky strength heroes. It's looking more likely that Gaming Gladiators might want to get... Maybe they'll play the Dawnbreaker safe lane. Honestly, Durachu does like to play it as well. And these bans do really benefit the Dawn.
And they have Beastmaster open if they want to play the Dawnbreaker on safe lane. They can pick a Beastmaster tree and pair up with any other hero as they see more options from Entity side, like to counter. So they would pick Beastmaster now, and then they see 2 heroes from Entity, and then they can outpick on the position 4 also. Because Beastmaster is really great against Enigma and also against Tiny, because of vision especially. And then with Beastmaster, you can always cancel also the BKB Black Holes. So Beastmaster could have a lot of value, especially because we're seeing all those position 2 sort of carries being banned. I'll not say Alex a position 2, but it's just a hero that gets online so fast. So let's say the fast tempo carries, they're being gone. You still have Monkey CK open on that sense. But if they ban like Monkey and get the Beastmaster, it would feel so great for them.
Yeah, and Ace is a pretty dominant Beastmaster player. One of the best in Europe, I would say. To be fair, his micro game is just in general phenomenal. I do like the fact that both these offlaners are those micro type of hero offlaners. You know, Brewmaster, Enigma. Even though Enigma does get picked up in some teams as a 4 position, but in this case, Toby just loves the hero too much. Also, Gaming Gladiators, I like the fact that they banned out Alchemist against Gaming Gladiators, because I do know that they play it in 4 different positions. Because I know that Tofu's even played as a 4 position, but that is a hero that I was hoping to see, barely ever get to see it, but it is actually, I think it got picked up a couple of times at the Riyadh Masters.
Yeah, we've seen Yuraji playing the hero.
10
Man,
seconds.
I hope they can flex this hero into support, because it's so early for a Arc Warden pick. Like, Arc Warden, he's usually countered by the offlaners, because like heroes that jump at him counter him, and they know the enemy team has Enigma, but you could like flex the Enigma into position 5 and pick something like a Pangolier on position 3. You can even pick a Pangolier mid. You can pick like an Underlord, which is so strong in lane against Arc Warden. I see many options here of heroes that can just jump into this Arc Warden. If you go some sort of PA, carry, anti-mage, also like heroes that jump at him. Faceless Void, you also jump at him.
Yeah. Seems
you can
about right. Big fat cooldown AoE ultis as well that you can't get a BKB to save you from. So BKB is not that big of a value tool this game for Gaming Gladiators.
10 seconds.
Yeah, you have the save into Dazzle, and now they need a hero to jump into that Dazzle. So if they want to play the Enigma as 3, they could go something like a Clockwork sort of hero. They can go Sky with the Silence, but a hero that's going to silence this Dazzle, or just go some sort of Void Spirit mid, because like they have the tools to Chrono, and now they need the tool to...
It is dive.
I mean, I always liked Night Stalker. I love Night Stalker. Hey, there's the Beastmaster. Against the Void and Bane as well. That's like, that is the cherry on top. Ace is loving that lane.
Okay, even though with the early Arc Warden pick, I favor GG because that was like the free Beastmaster game.
10 seconds
And they
remain.
picked 2 heroes that are terrible against Beastmaster. Like, I was really expecting the hero 15. That's like how strong he felt. And then they picked 2 heroes that are bad against Beastmaster, and oh man, GG. They have such the upper hand, I believe, with this Beastmaster here. Like, you don't need the Arc Warden to be this hero, like with 6 items, or we say like 9 items, fully slots, to win this game. You just need to play active with the Beastmaster, and I guess he'll be able to. Because I don't see...
If you get bots as well, you can like TP on Hawks and whatnot all over the map, so it does work really well together.
I don't see what they can do. Like, they can throw Enigma's 5, so at least you get to kill the boar. And then you play Tiny mid, Bane 4, and you pick a position 3, like Tidehunter, Pangolier. Pangolier is great.
I'm still up for that Night Stalker. I believe in the... Because you get Shard, you eat that Helm with the Overlord from Beastmaster, and you ignore him for the entire fight. And it's a good way to get on top of Arc Warden and Dazzle.
Like, I don't see how they win unless they do this type of flex. Like, if they just go straight ahead picking the mid lane hero, it's gonna be weird. They need something to deal with the summons, like Underlord, Tide, Bungle. What else? What I'm missing here, DK?
You're missing the Queen of Bane, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be Stormstormer back on the QUAP. It is a dive hero. It is dangerous to dive against the Beastmaster. So you definitely have to be very careful on your blade, even against the Arc Warden, depending on the item build. Because I think a lot of Arcs go for Gleipnir these days, so that could be very painful. And the Void Spirit for Gaming Gladiators, well... I am really looking forward towards this match because it does seem like it can still go either way, because no matter what happens, you still have a black hole and a chronosphere on the side of Entity.
Yeah. On that sense, yes. Like, Entity, they really answered well this Arc Warden, but it's a position 4 Arc Warden.
It is actually a position for... Wait, okay, I am baffled. I didn't even realize that Tofu Arc.
Man, I'm impressed by GG. I'm loving this guy's draft. Like, I'm really impressed. I learned a lot with them. I really thought like they could go Beastmaster and then counter 2 heroes with the position 4. But they went the position 4. They've seen 2 heroes and got the Beastmaster without the Beastmaster being countered. And they forced a lot of counters on this like fake position 4 that the enemy team thought it was a hard carry. I'm impressed. It's such a good draft in my point of view. And I hope they get to play it as they intend and have a easy, nice game here. Because you're countering Arc Warden, yes, but you're not countering the Beastmaster at all. And this Beastmaster Dawnbreaker can be such a strong win condition. Like, you have the vision, you're taking the objectives, and then you have this Void Spirit that can initiate anywhere in the map, and the Dawnbreaker following up. Really strong draft for GG, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious about, exactly what an Arc Warden support builds. I guess if you get a 4-staff, you technically have 2 4-staffs in the team fight, and same with the Glimmers and such, but do you go Hand of Midas as well? It's going to be interesting to see. I remember a Yapsor back in the day ran it as well, but I can't even remember how that game turned out to be. It's going to be very fun to watch. So you got a Beastmaster plus Arc Warden laning against a Faces Void plus the Bane. I would say that, honestly, Arc Warden can be very nasty in the laning stage as well.
Yeah. It's really good lane for the Beastmaster already, considering that he's against the Bane and the Void. If they don't swap, like, we can't be sure. We know, like, the position 5 has the Bane, yes, but they could do some swaps. Like maybe you leave Enigma alone on top lane. They see Diracho. He has the extra move speed, has boots. He can get the... Or no. Diracho just walks away.
They just disengage is easy peasy. But yeah, they could do some fancy lane swaps, see if that works out, to be fair. I don't really know what Faceless Void prefers to play against, because Dawnbreaker also kind of destroys him in the laning stage. It's all...
Just 30 seconds now.
It's all pretty rough. The lanes are looking rough for Entity. Mid can go either way, to be fair. There's definitely outplay potential on both sides, depending on the item build of Stormstormer. Might just... not. The problem is Shadow Strike gives you that nice healing in the mid lane, which you really want to use on the Void Spirit. But he can just dodge it with Dissimulate every time.
So they're sending the Enigma top, but they're trading wounds. That should be good for GG, because Enigma cannot trade in wounds, so Fishman's gone.
Well, it is going to be 2 bounty runes coming up for GG, plus first blood secured. Boom, drop in return. Stormstormer very low. He's going to get cracked as well. And it's a 2-for-1 trade with 3 bounty runes for Gaimin Gladiators at the start. They're going to send Pure in towards that bottom lane to lane up against the Celery Diracho. So they did go for the lane swap on Entity side.
Yeah, it's a really good decision for Entity. I was expecting that, having the Enigma on top. You mentioned that Void's gonna have a rough time bottom. I agree, but he would have the same way top. And the thing is, at least his tower will be up, the tier 1 tower top. And you want to hold this tower as long as you can. So having the Enigma there, you can hold the tower for longer. So you have the bad lane, but at least you keep control of your jungle for longer. That was one smart decision. On the other hand, the first blood, not the smartest, because when you're running those type of heroes like Enigma, Earthshaker, Darkseer, you know that this hero is going to be standing by the creep wave. So GG, it's easy to make this decision of going for the trade in the rune, because you know the enemy team doesn't have one hero there.
Yeah, and that is, of course, pretty advantageous. Also, Fishman walked up the enemy high ground without having any vision either. Fishman, speaking of him, and Pure, they're actually taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane, while Ace gets taken down top. Okay, I guess he got tossed underneath the tower.
Yeah. Avatos, early level 2.
That's the one big plus for a Tiny playing in the safe lane with an Enigma. The tower is all, as the lane equilibrium is going to be on his side, and you got to be very careful of the toss underneath the tower.
Yeah,
or
and Ace,
yeah, luckily the Eidolons were about to die, but Kataomi does still have himself an avalanche, and that is going to be Tofu dying as well. This top lane might be a little bit scarier than originally expected by Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, there's this point I just have seen on the Faceless Void perspective, and Boom is forced to TP base. That's also huge from the Queen of Pain mid. You get so much advantage forcing this TP, and you know that if you rotate mid and kill the Void Spirit, his game is gone. But I was too focused on Pure. If you look at Toby's side, he's gonna have a free lane. The Tiny, as mentioned, is also like free to roam in the map, because the lane equilibrium is always good when you have an Enigma in your team. And the Beastmaster, he really regrets going for that boar first point, because you really need the access against the Enigma lane. Bottom.
Dire's top tower is in danger.
Yeah, just a lot of harassment.
Again, on Ace.
Oh, well, Kataomi, they're doing a lot of damage. He needs that Helm of Iron real quickly. Avalanche on top. Ace. Beastmaster is going to die, and this top lane is actually shredding right now for the Entity side. That lane swap looking pretty good. Bottom lane, Faceless Void is struggling, but the thing is, Pure's going to struggle in whatever lane he plays. There's just no helping it.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like, I think the start of Entity is super great so far. No matter if Void has 0 creeps, like what they're doing on top lane makes everything work. Kind of surprised that GG, they didn't go for the counter move, like just swapping lanes also. Especially because you have the Beastmaster, especially going with the Boar first point. You have the Hulk to scout lanes better. But yeah, so far so good. Pure dies. Sorry, talk too much.
No worries, we were looking at Pure dying very slowly and surely with the dot on him. And yeah, Top lane, of course, Katomi just needs his mana the entire time. You do have Tofu rotating in. It's actually a very nasty way to secure the runes as well, if you are a support Arc Warden. You just walk in, place a couple of those Spark Wraiths, and if he gets close, you even throw in a Flock. The problem is, right now, Ace, that means he's completely solo top, and he is actually stuck between the creeps as well, and that is Toby on a killing spree on the Enigma, has his urn with a couple of charges. This top lane is disastrous.
It's a disaster, but if you go to the net worth chart, he's still ahead of the Void, because he's not wasting so much on regen. Like, when you're a Beastmaster, you just want to buy the items for the Aura ASAP. So he's that Ace, he decided to walk. So he's probably going jungle, because he didn't TP to the lane. No, he's just walking, so if he dies, he has the TP to come back.
Well, at least Tofu gets some of the experience, I guess. So that he can get his level 6 as soon as possible. You can do some nasty things with an Arc Warden later down the line, but yeah, it's at this stage it's not looking too great just yet. Toss back, and there's going to be the catch on. Tofu does have massive magic wand charges. Toby actually needs to be a little bit careful himself. Tofu, is he going to drop dead? One more click, yes indeed, but Ace might just turn this around. Katomi, there's too many creeps coming this direction. Summoning the Eidolons, going back in. There is a toss-up. Katomi's trying to find a nice lineup. Ace with the wild axes, and still does die without getting a kill secured. Toby's now level 6, top net worth by a pretty decent margin as well. This Enigma is absolutely destroying.
Yeah, and these has some props to Stormer on the mid lane, because Boom didn't have the TP. If Boom had a TP, then Boom might die. He dies.
Okay, no TP, no chance.
They want to go for more.
And Tofu is the next target. Toss up, get the kill. Tofu staying alive for a little bit longer. Katomi does get taken down by the tower, but there's a TP coming in as well. It is Celery with the shallow grave just in the nick of time. Fishman's dropping low, and that is going to be 2 kills in return. Tofu's still alive. Stormstormer's out of mana and needs to disengage, but he might just be the next one in the line to drop. The supports are doing it, and it is going to be Celery with a double kill. Big plays from the Dazzle. He's now all of a sudden level 5.
The strongest hero on the team, because Void Spirit's still 5. Beastmaster is 4. Oh my god. Yeah, so strong on those trades. The Dazzle with the Poison Touch. But yeah, the Queen of Pain has been outplaying really well on the mid lane, but now suddenly all the advantage is gone. He had like 17 denies, but the Void Spirit's 400 gold ahead. Although the Void Spirit's not buying a TP, come on, man. What?
His career is also dead. Duraccio bottom lane underneath the tower will be just fine. They spot out Celery, but Celery spots them out. He actually does go for Poison Touch level 3. Finally, I see a Dazzle going for that for the Poison Touch levels. They always stop at 2.
Yeah, and he can get a Chard, and it's gonna be quite useful. Not like the guys that get Chard with just 1 point.
Yeah, and then they're like, haha, I hex one of your teammates and a creep. Ow.
Yeah. So while that was this trade, Beastmaster dies again top 0-5-0 on that Beastmaster. Such a rough game.
Alright, Katomi going in, Avatos, but Boom is tanky enough. Stormer actually is getting bullied by Tofu. Arc Warden gaming right there. Core or support, it's always a pain.
And they smoke top. The skill on Enigma can be so huge.
Yeah, he's level 8.
And Duraccio, yeah. Alright, showing up here. Toby, he presents something wrong is happening in the map. Why is our Arc Warden mid? Where is the Void Spirit?
Yeah, he's just doing exactly what he needs to stay hidden as far as possible. If they go deep, like diving against an Enigma is also a very scary prospect.
Fishman, the night vision, he breaks the play.
Okay, that Aether Remnant doesn't connect, and Fishman's still alive. Boom. Actually, he does still have Dissimulate. Toby wants to get a possible black hole. Does he get the reach? Actually doesn't need it, because Avalanche Toss should be enough, and they actually get the counter kill there. Boom, getting taken down. Toby, unstoppable. 6 kills on the Enigma. Looking for Duraccio's got the black hole available. Use it. TP's come in mass. Can they kill Duracho off in time? It's dropping low. Tofu? Nope, will not be able to save him. There's going to be Celery taking a heap of damage. Big avalanche from Kataomi as well. Tofu with the Arc Warden double, trying to deal some damage. Kataomi does die. Toby he got a triple kill. Monster kill. Toby farming up the Arc Warden Wraith as well, the Arc Tempest double, and now Fishman going behind the tower to take down Tofu to boot. Can they get the kill? The Eidolons are walking through. Tofu dropping very low. One more hit, but the slow for boom is just enough, and Tofu will walk away. But Toby getting a bit of revenge from that last game.
Yeah. So such a nice 8-0-2 already, 10 kills. Participation on that Enigma. Kind of a greedy play of bot.
Okay.
Duracho saves Ace, but he might just die together.
They don't have mana on Stormstormer though, but there is a chrono for Pure. And he gets the chrono just off in the nick of time. He needs to be careful of the burn. Get himself out of there. Doesn't want to die. The urn from Toby just to make sure he heals up. And that is a just respawn Duracho as well. Taken down. Entity. This is the Entity aggression we were missing last game.
Yeah. And it all began on good decisions on lane. The Queen of Pain played really well the mid lane, which makes all those side lanes aggressions possible because you're not so worried about level 6 Void Spirit. Fishman again breaking the play. He might die or he might just get enough time for his entire team to come up.
Oh, DOS back, keep Fishman alive, group him up next to Toby so that the dots don't come in. Dodge and weave, baby, dodge and weave. Everyone needs to soak up all those spark rays, otherwise he dies, but Boom is incoming from behind, and Ace with the wild axes will get the kill secured. Blink out. Toby already has that blink finished up. Didn't go for the Spirit Vessel Rush. Instead, just blink seems to be the play. And Stormstorm with the TP away out of there. Kataomi is going to get roared up. They are going in for the kill, and that will be the Tiny dying. So they do get a couple of very good counter kills in the meantime.
Yeah. Pure is going top into Duracho, but just doing some damage. The game, so many kills, like 2 kills per minute. Now GG, they protect their jungle. Nice play. Again, Entity is the team that now felt strong. So even they tank the smoke on Bane, they decide to somehow take the fight. And that's a small chance on the comeback of GG. The game, though, still looks pretty even on net worth, even though when you see engagements, it feels like Entity is so far ahead.
I mean, if you look at that net worth chart, you look where Toby is. He's just miles ahead of everyone else.
They got Boom, they had the Fiend's Grip.
And there will be the heal bomb in return. Kataomi doesn't have any spells left. Stormstormer does have a Sonic Wave, but they're just going to quickly lose Fishman. Nice waiting as well. In comes Toby charging forward. Duracho, Sonic Wave. Stormstormer, he's looking for a lineup, but doesn't want to use his ulti just yet. They'll just get the 2 kills without. Chase for Duracho for more, but Tofu support is in the building. And he's going to spam as many spark rates as he can.
On Queen of Pain, he doesn't go for the dive. I like Ace's approach to the game, that he, no matter how bad the lane was, he just knows he needs to hit his timings on the Helm of the Overlord, so he's just farming, and he's actually pretty well back to the game, right? I guess the only thing that draws the attention on the network chart now is the Enigma farm, because the other heroes, they were actually able to recover. Also, the Faceless Void is already on top 4 of net worth.
It's, well, Boom is now, you know, bottom of the course. Not really in the most comfortable spots. And Stormstormer really did him dirty in that mid lane. I did not expect him to win that matchup so hard. Black Hole onto Boom. They also have the Chrono available in case they want to throw it extra, but it should be enough. Shallow Grave, he is eventually going to die, and the Chrono comes in on the back line. That's going to be the real Tofu, taking some damage, but Pure doesn't actually have a Maelstrom yet, so his damage is kind of lackluster. That is 2 big cooldowns used, and it's still a 1-for-1 trade. Might be even more. Pure trying to disengage as far as he can, and we'll walk towards Stormstormer. But that fight was actually not bad for Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, but Entity, they still have resources to fight. Stormstormer does have the ultimate, so one Avatos with the ultimate, they can get a kill on any hero. They probably just go for the gold on Tofu illusion. Not even that. Okay. The other way around.
Tosses boom forward to Toby. That might not have been the best play if the rest of the team is going to follow up. Toby is trying to disengage on the side. Fiend's Grip onto Duracho. Sonic Wave pushes them back, but again, the Shallow Grave comes into play and should keep Duracho alive. Very good game so far from Celery on the Dazzle. Okay, that's a bit greedy.
Doesn't have any spell.
2 seconds and then he has Astral Step. In comes Pure, trying to get the first hit. Bash will not be getting it just yet. Nightmare needs to quickly get taken care of, so Celery can be finished off by Pure. Luckily, he bashes so much with max level time lock right there. 4 hits, no bashes, easy. And yeah, godlike for Toby. Hasn't died a single time.
Yeah, he's going for a Vessel, and that makes it clear how GG should take the next fight approach. Oh, Avalanche will be back. Kadomi, no. They really need to jump on that Enigma. So Enigma without BKB, if they get to burst this hero, it will mean so much, because the longer your kill streak, the more gold you're giving away. He's gonna give away something like 900 gold, I would expect, that early in the game, or 800.
Yeah, something along those lines. Of course, the good old days of, you know, the massive comeback mechanic are gone, where you kill a core and you get 1500 gold. You're like, cool. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, like, the percentage of net worth that you get is not so high, but from kill streaks it is. It's still very high, so godlike, it should be an absurd amount by that time of the game.
But you could also just not die and win the game without dying a single time, and that's right now what he's looking for.
Yeah, he's going for that BKB and he's playing safe till then, so
60 minutes, first hour.
Very tough, yeah.
This is a game with a Beastmaster and an Enigma, and this is the first tower that's going down after 16 minutes.
That's all on that lane swap, on the Enigma being top. Wouldn't be for that, the top tower would fall in 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, especially against Faces Void. Boom in mid. Okay, smoke got broken. There was also no Black Hulk. Daomi does have a Blink Dagger at the ready this time around as well, so it does get a little bit scary if you're playing that Void Spirit. To be fair, he died 5 times, so he's probably already a little bit scared for most of these engagements.
Oh, boom. He's probably gonna die for that Blink Dagger reveal. Celery.
Yeah, they need to kill off the Dazzle first.
Yeah, the Dazzle makes it way harder for the initiation lineup of entities to work, right? You don't want to chrono someone if you don't see Dazzle. You don't want a Black Hole if you don't see Dazzle. But they do see the Beastmaster on their jungle, and he's dead.
Yeah, he's...
Or not? Too early.
No, there's no way that he can get out of that. Very dead, and will be finished off. Then again, you know, Ace is second in net worth. How is Ace second in net? He has 7 deaths.
Because he gives 0 cares. He's just farming and hitting creeps no matter where in the map. He's not joining the fights, and now he has the Helm of the Overlord. So now he's going to be joining the team fight for sure. It's a timing that they can also do Roche, but they can't as long as the Chrono and the Black Hole is up. So they need to force a team fight, force big cooldowns from Entity, and then, even if they lose that team fight, it's their Roche timing. So they kind of need to lose a team fight in order to do Roche afterwards. That's what I feel like.
Okay. Or you win a team fight and then still do Roche, but...
I don't see them winning the team fight. I think it's going to be super hard. But the Entity lineup, they're kind of slow in Roche, so you can afford to lose one team fight as long as you force Chronosphere and Black Hole.
Astini, I was talking about, you know, support Arc Warden, the items he builds, 4 staff, Glimmer Cape, that sort of thing. He's like first item Axe. That item, very annoying to deal with, first item Axe. I'm semi-core annoyance in every team fight.
Yeah, there are 2 heroes that rely on the Blink Dagger, the Enigma, and the Tiny. He's gonna be probably canceling those daggers during the entire engagement. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Also more vision. And he had the Philosopher's Stone, which helps a lot on getting greedy items such as this one.
This is looking a little bit on the scarier side for Entity, because Toby, his massive net worth advantage that he gained, he kind of had to forego that so that his other cores could also step in and gain some farm. And they're smoked up. This is pretty scary. If Toby walks out, that could be a lot of gold, but it's going to be Katomi that tanks the gank instead.
But they have vision of Toby with the Hulk. They're going to dive him, no? Okay.
No, Pure's nearby, so I probably wouldn't do that next to a Faceless Void.
Pure does have the shard. All about that vision game. Finding the Dazzle.
Yeah, Celery's playing a really good game. Has had so much impact in most of these engagements. Roar onto Fishman. The Bane's going to get caught. And they will be able to get another kill. Right now, Gaming Gladiators looking like the aggressors.
Yeah. I feel like Entity, they have this understanding that they shouldn't use their cooldowns so the enemy team cannot go Roach, because they gave up the mid-tier 1 tower with everything up, and they are not trying to force anything on the map. They're just like spreading the cores, trying to shove the waves as further away of their tower as they can. So a pretty good approach. Stormer, they have no catch for him, no roar. Oh, they have the...
We go Poison Touch with max level Poison Touch with the Shard. It is probably the only Dazzle I've seen that still goes for max level Poison Touch.
But that wasn't like a kill attempt, just like, hey, leave the hell out of here. It belongs to me, just like. I guess they didn't expect to get a kill with this 2 seconds. Well, which is not even 2 seconds against the Queen of Pain, because she does have the Kaya Stone. Makes 1.6.
AoE hex for 2 seconds. It does seem so broken. Well, Celery in the pit.
They did a Dazzle.
Yeah, okay. That is probably your best bet to take a fight now. But there's nothing to really be gained. They're completely spread out, and Ace is still second in net worth.
Yeah, but he needs to be on the run. He does the right move. Yeah, everyone's playing safe from GG now because the Dazzle... all the threat of the Dazzle is gone. So Entity would have free initiation.
Tofu's almost done with the full Aghanim Scepter on the Arc Warden. That's just... that's gonna be so filthy. All those Spark Wraiths spawning in the fight and just chasing you down constantly.
Yeah. The Queen of Pain is going for the Shard. It's an attempt to silence this backline, so not only silencing the Dazzle seems great, also silencing this Arc Warden seems really great now that he's gonna have the Agonies, right? You don't want him pressing spells, and definitely you can burst him.
He does get a little bit tanky
as well. They're gonna go for the Void. Do they have the enough though?
He does take a lot of damage, nice hex as well. Pure leaps to the side, heals up significantly. In the trees, though, it's a double damage Deratio Dawnbreaker. That's some big D's right there coming into play.
There's even a shallow grave on Deratio. Like, congrats.
So he can... it does amplify your healing slightly, so, you know, I guess useful for that luminosity.
Yeah. He was kind of almost switched, yeah.
It's just that little... I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta flex.
Nah, it's fine. I'm just joking. Not a big deal at all.
Well, in the pit they go.
And they wanna go Roche because there's no Void, there's no Chrono, but I feel like it's a very dangerous Roche because there's Black Hole, there's the Outpost, there's a TP spot, and the Faceless Void will be back into time.
Well, Roche is dropping pretty quickly and they're not responding, so free Roche.
I don't know. Too early to say. Yeah. They're getting their road, but it's Entity fighting.
Somebody's gonna get spotted, tossed back. Taomi is in trouble. They do get a quick kill. Chasing for more. There's gonna be a Chrono onto the back line, which is literally Tofu. And Tofu's gonna be just fine. Phoenix Grip holds the Ratio in place. That should be the Aegis pop. Pure now needs to disengage. Back and forth, but he is being spammed into oblivion by Tofu. Kataomi with a nice toss onto Duracho, who's taking a lot of damage immediately. Black hole gets used, dodges it onto Boom, but actually Ace jumps into the black hole with his little tumbler toy. No, Ace, he tried to get the roar going. What have you done? Boom is going to be the next one down, and this fight is looking disastrous. Going to get away? Not really. He's going to get crushed as well. Tofu's still spamming away, but Pure will find the kill in the end. And that fight goes horribly wrong for Gaming Gladiators. Did you see that tumbler story from Ace?
Yeah, that's not a free Roche, I would say. A gets going. 4 heroes dead. You don't want to fight into all the cooldowns from Entity. So bringing 5 heroes all together might not have been the best solution here. Maybe they needed to force those cooldowns somewhere in the map on pickoffs. But also very well played from Entity. The Void felt like he was lacking damage when he chronos the Arc Warden. It doesn't manage to kill. But actually the thing that's lacking damage is GG. They do have the save on Dazzle. They have the annoying blink cancelling Spark Wave. But they lack the damage to burst targets.
Yeah, Pure jumping back and forth with the time walk the entire time, very hard to deal with. And Stormstormer also 2.4k HP, has some extra armor built, has a full Shiva's Guard now built up on the Queen of Pain, so that's a very good counter against both the Dawn and the Dazzle's healing.
Yeah, reducing all this heal into 25% healing lifesteal.
Yeah, that's not too shabby.
And Void is level 20 now. This level 20 is actually what allows you to kill any target in the Chronosphere. It's not like getting a damage item, like he went for Linken's, but now he can force targets inside the Chrono.
Yeah, just a casual 120 attack speed increase inside Chrono. That is, well, almost half his attack speed that he has right now. Just add it on top, go ham.
It's a full moon shard.
Is it actually exactly a full moon shard?
It's 2 hyperstones, and I guess the moon shard doesn't give anything extra, does it? No, it does. It gives 20, so it's not a full moon shard. 20 less. It's 2 hyperstones though.
Yeah, that's 4k. You know, casual 4k gold just on your talent added in. Sure.
Yeah.
Stormstormer Quap's also so scary right now, especially once he gets that shard. Then he's got so much AoE in the fight. Scream of Pain, Sonic Wave, Shiva's Guard, and then the AoE blast as well from the Blink. Those, especially the Dazzle, is just... Celery is so dead mode. He's going for a Blink Dagger because he wants to stay as far away from the fight as possible.
To Diracho, just forcing TP answers here. They want to make GG back from their top side of the map.
Boom, cancel this TP. They could use that. Oh, they're actually going to smoke right towards the top lane. Tofu. What's he going for next? Aether Lens. He's done with the Aether Lens on the Arc Warden. So he's actually just turning into a core. He's probably going to get an Octarine core at some point as well.
They have vision of the Arc Warden. They want to take the fight.
Oh, but the Dazzle, they're getting the catch on the 2 supports. Fiend Script comes out. They need to kill off the Dazzle. Toss him away from the heal as well. Celery dropping low, but a great black hole from Toby. A 3-man catch coming into play. The 2 supports are dropping low. Duracho is in trouble. Next, the roar comes out onto the Void, who still has a Chronosphere available. And they need to disengage, but there's no disengaging coming through from here. In the trees, Ace is going to get surrounded on the other end. At least it's going to be Boom getting out of the fight. But that was the perfect catch. They find the 2 supports right next to each other.
Yeah, such a good black hole. It's a good... okay. I thought he would Chrono Boom here. It feels really bad for GG now. You don't see the opening on how they should team fight. As long as the enemy team have black hole, they cannot fight into that. And they didn't even use the Chrono. So Boom is dead.
Bashes, Pure, could still Chrono, Celery with the Shallow Grave. And there's going to be the Chrono, should still be a kill regardless. Takes a little bit longer, obviously. Celery, does he get taken down? Pure needs to be careful. Kataomi with the Avatar, Sonic Wave. And Celery gets blown up. Stormstorm even going deeper. He sees an Arc Warden double. Give me that gold. It's easy money. will be able to get that kill secured as well, and Stormstormer walks away. And it's looking rough. The one plus side, I guess, is that Arc Warden with Ags is pretty good at defending high ground.
Yeah. But like how they are outscaling a Faceless Void Enigma lineup, I don't know. You can defend, but how do you actually win a team fight? They need that Aghanim on Void Spirit, which is like gonna be one of the latest ones that takes more time because it's been 30 minutes into the game. It's an item you expect by 24. It's like 6 minutes late already, and it's gonna be something like 8 or 9 still. Also, something that I didn't bring up after the team fight that was really well done by Katomi is that he tossed the Dazzle out of the Dawnbreaker ultimate, and that also set up for the Black Hole into 3 targets. A lot of props to Katomi on that.
He's playing a lot better than Game 1. Like, he's actually doing stuff this game.
Feels like Game 1 he was totally outplayed by the Marcy, and feels like this game he's totally outplaying the Dawnbreaker ultimate. He's giving it back.
Yeah, gotta spread it even so we get a Game 3. Of course, there's still plenty to be witnessed. Duracho on that Dawnbreaker. He's really having struggles getting anything done on the Dawn, these fights.
I thought he would go for the Enigma that had an idea where he could be. That would be a huge kill.
Look at all these nice, beautiful spark rates being spammed out by Tofu. Ah, that must be so much fun.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So, what is Gaming Gladiators' game plan at this stage? How are they going to be able to rectify this deficit?
They need to farm the Aghanim on Void Spirit. They need that silence to play the team fight. Faceless Void doesn't have the BKB yet, so if he gets the Aghanims before Void's BKB, that could be a huge team fight. They burst down the Void, then they... I'm not saying they will win the team fight, but then it's a good team fight.
Then they've got a chance, and that's what we're aiming for.
They stand a chance, yes.
Oh, look at that damage on Stormstormer. Oh.
Enigma with BKB, they do have the dagger on Ace though. It's also a possibility that it bursts this Enigma, but Toby is playing so well, so safe. Okay, the smoke is detected with the Spark Ray.
He needs to get beyond Godlike, so give this kill to Toby. Kataomi, they're actually getting the kill on Kataomi specifically to deny Toby getting the 10 kill streak.
Yeah, so if you die, don't give away so much gold.
Yeah, next level play, though, you know, you want to get that kill streak. Duracho.
They got Duracho.
Kataomi, toss back with that 4-staff. However, oh, there's a Black Hole and a Fiend's Grip. That's a little bit much. Roar does get used. The Fiend's Grip still continues. Actually, Toby is going to get taken down. That's the 9 kill streak secured. And they might have gone a little bit too aggressive there because they're missing a couple of their players. And they get 3 kills here on the side of Gaming Gladiators. Pure still waiting on the high ground. But yeah, you probably just need to dip considering Shallow Grave is back off cooldown.
Yeah, that was 984 gold. Plus the AoE gold, which was 498. It was spread among 2 heroes. So there was a hero there that got 1.1k. Duracho. Just out of this kill.
He got almost 1.5 out of that fight. That's a lot of gold. And that is, I really don't... Entity, they were completely not on the same page. Fiend's Grip and Black Hole.
Oh, man.
This is kind of disastrous. They're still, of course, in a very comfortable, reasonable good spot, but this is how comebacks happen.
Yeah, but I can't blame them on not being on the same page, because the Tiny, he just made a clutch play so fast that you see like a target flying and you want to stun the target. And both had like the right feeling of, oh, I should stun the target. You don't have time of communicating during this Tiny Airlines. Tiny Airlines is like the fastest flight you can get.
Yes, but you were also missing the Quap and the Faceless Void. And that's the one that I'm like, of course, adding those two ultis on top of each other, not great. But the fact that the Quap and the Faceless Void were nowhere to be seen, and you are diving past the tier 2 tower next to the enemy's tier 3 tower, that is kind of a very suicidal play. Kataomi should not have made that play.
Perfect. That's the point. Like, going under that tier 3, especially with an Enigma, that what guarantees you're winning the game is that you have the vision advantage. So diving around the tier 3, that's a very dangerous move, especially when you're so far ahead in the game and you don't want to give openings for the enemy team to come back. You can just play the safe game and you'll be winning. That was the mistake. I think that's a way bigger mistake than pressing the two ultimates together. Like, even though I know the impact of this is very huge, but you can't expect them to get this correctly so fast.
Yeah, it is. There's a glimmer of hope on the Gaming Gladiator side. Net worth-wise, it's almost dwindling to about equal terms. Duraccio's got the Aegis now, so that is like the perfect counter to Black Hole, Chronosphere, Fiend's Grip, is that you got that extra secondary life to come back and go ham. His net worth is also spiked up significantly. Toby's actually now below Ace. 1 death versus 9, and you're below him in terms of net worth. That's an interesting prospect. And Tofu is just an extra core at this stage. Like, he's catching up to Boom.
Unfortunately, they found the last target that they want to find. That was Duracio, and he just used the Celestial Hammer, the Starbreaker, when they were initiating, so he got that free BKB. There's still hope. There's still hope for Entity. Like, I feel the game is close to even with that Aegis, but they're still like 5k ahead. They still have things that guarantee a kill, like a Black Hole target, you Chrono target. As long as the Dazzle is dead, they have those sort of kill guaranteed. But Dazzle, he's really clever. Celery, he does have the dagger, and more important than anything, he does have buyback. So he keeps buyback no matter what.
They're just breaking base right now. The first team to actually break some buildings up on the high ground, and this is looking like a rather painful endeavor. Backline, Black Hole does get used by Toby, but again, the cores are nowhere to be seen. Stormstormer rushing forward, the toss comes in. Sonic Wave as well, the Chronosphere on top. Sonic Wave almost pushes Duracio out of there. Boom is going to be the main target for Pure. Can he get any bashes? He finally does, but all the cooldowns have been used. Aegis is going to get popped, and there's going to be a reset of the fight, but he is completely alone on Duracio. Locked and loaded, Kataomi going in, silenced up in the process. Can they get the kill here? They will lose Fishman on the die side. They're fighting on the right side of the map. Pure is completely on an opposite end of Duracio. Finally joins in the fray again, looking for Celery, getting rid of that Dazzle, and that's going to be a dieback. Coming in for more. They're getting the absolute crackdown. Boom's dropping very low. The buybacks are being spent massively on both these sides. Stormstormer's actually going to get caught. The pushback from Tofu actually breaks that Aether Remnant, and Tofu is going to be hunted by Kataomi in the trees. It's Boom very low. Same with Ace. Kataomi, Spoda legs coming in, spots him out, and now they know where they are, but that's actually a bait from Ace into the Aether Remnant pre-posted. Duracio with the buyback has finally rejoined the fray, and what the hell is going on this game?
So GG understanding here is that if Entity use their long cooldowns, they can just win the team fight. So they kept buying back, but it's a Void. It's a Void level 26. He's not so dependent on the Chrono anymore. That's why the long fight turned to be Entities. Also, they had no TP spots nearby. So yeah, the Dazzle had buyback, but till he was back, Dawnbreaker was already dead one time, and the second life was basically gone. So a bit greedy from GG to... They kind of tried to finish the game on that team fight by buying back. They believe, okay, we come back, no Chrono, no Black Hole, we kill them all. But that wasn't the case. And suddenly they give away all this sort of advantage, because they weren't even ahead on net worth, that Entity gave them on the bot team fight. So the second team fight that we see around the enemy base, that is not the most clever one.
And now you also have Pure with the Refresh Orb, so you gotta deal with double Chrono.
And Queen of Pain. Like, you have two heroes with Refresh.
And there's also a third one being built up right now on Toby, so that's a lot of spells. Again, they do still have the Arc Warden for the high ground defense. He has an Octarine core finished up onto the Arc Warrior. That's so filthy. Tofu just
We
gonna
are
spam.
looking for those 1 hour plus games.
Oh, this is gonna be tier 5 items, 100%.
Although they don't have 1, 2, 3, 4 buybacks. So Dazzle, Tiny, Void Spirit, and Dawnbreaker used.
And Game Gladiators currently don't even have the money on 2 of them, so they technically, if any of them die, they're out.
Yeah. So there was a tiny buyback. I missed that on Teamfight. I thought only GG had buyback. So still super bad. I'm not making the point that it was good. Yeah, it's still super bad.
Still not so superb, no.
The 25 on Beastmaster is quite good. 30 seconds reduction, basically 50%.
Yeah, that is actually not too shabby. He's got the boots of bearing as well against the nasty slows coming out from the Quap. And here, does that actually work with the black hole pull?
No, I don't think so. It's not a slow. It's a pull.
Yeah, but Valve. It's like, what do they count as a slow specifically? It's the problem for Entity is exactly this. Look at all these beautiful spark rays, just that sound.
Middle tower is under attack.
Look at the sound. I play without sound, but I can look at the sound. I cannot hear.
Okay. Turn on your sound. Just enjoy the music of Dota.
But the next thing that Tofu can do is going travel. Then it's gonna be super annoying. Because then you are also shoving waves to the enemy tower. They get this mobility already with Diracho. He has the Solar Guardian to connect on team fights, so they force pure TP on a tier 3. Thus they get to defend their tier 2 down bottom. But Queen of Pain, Stormstormer, he's still there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, quite a offensive blink into Tofu.
Stormstormer. Gotta be careful. Ace with the roar. There's gonna be Dirachi joining in the fun as well. He does have the BKB. Can he get away? Sonic Wave does get the blink out on the side. Pure jumping into the fray. But there's no Stormstormer, so Pure needs to be very careful because Dirachi does hurt very hard. But the black hole onto Diracho. Big catch coming in. Can they get the shallow grave? Yes, they can. Diracho needs to be very careful. No buyback available for him. They're gonna go for boom. That's gonna be the chrono. That's the first one to be used. Pure has that refresher for the second chrono. That is a very big kill onto boom. But they do find some kills in return here. They kind of need to be a bit careful on Entity side as well.
Yeah, Pure. Okay, the chrono.
The second chrono, Pure. Can he get the kill onto Diracho? He's dropping low. Diracho does get bash locked, and that's the 2 main cores dead. So we make that the third ace. BKB runaway has them spoodaligs. Will be able to blink out in time, and Tofu needs to TP to safety because, well, he needs to shove out lanes.
Yeah, they almost burst Pure, but then he was still alive and the black hole came up. Pure needs to take a lot of care with those silence. He has the defensive items, right? He has the Linkens, has BKB. He's going for Satanic. That's the right choice because it gives you a lot of HP and a basic dispel against the silence. Otherwise, okay, you have 2 Chronospheres, but you're just fighting with BKB. You also do have 2 BKBs, but it can just be bursted.
You can't get a free Ags though. Roshan.
Yeah, Roshan.
He's got that juicy Ags. Will you give it to the Quiet? Probably just give it to the Faceless Void. And blink that blink bash. Bane?
Yeah, because then no one can cancel the Bane.
That is true. Bane could also be a nice... Well, no one. You have the Void Spirit that just, you know, uses one of his resonant pulses, and I think it might just be in range to get all 3.
Yes, with Pure, they get a kill on the double. But Enigma is on the tier 3 with the creeps.
Yeah, he does almost have his refresher orb finished as well.
Nice hack from Celery. Pure is alone here. No, they didn't get in so fast. And he doesn't go for the greedy farm on Ancient. Pure is playing the safest Dota, the right Dota here.
Add another to the tally.
This game, you know, it feels like Entity is in control for the most part, but these fights are so scrappy. I'm terrified. Like, they can really get absolutely... Pure one more of those mistakes, and he could easily get crushed by Duracio's damage with the double Starbreaker.
Yeah, I feel like GG, they are kind of the hope that the enemy makes mistakes. On a normal team fight, there's zero chance they're winning. Stormer, trading hits with Boom. Doesn't have anything to cancel a TP. Boom kind of baiting because he has Celery with him.
Tofu has 3.2k extra gold just chilling at the moment. He is staying alive in these engagements, and he is spamming his Spark Wraiths to pure annoyance.
Yeah, I'd say he wants travel plus buyback. Oh, Celery. To force the Solar Guardian.
Okay, jump back and forth. Duraccio wants to go for the kill on Stormer. That's still a lot of damage with the double smackdown. Toby comes in with the black hole, gets it off onto Duraccio, and Celery TP'd away, so the save is a little bit further down the line. They're going to go into the trees. That's Pure going for Ace. The damage coming through as well. Stormer just barely out of it. The Sonic Wave on top. That is going to be a double buyback force out on the Gaming Gladiator side. Ace in the trees. Can't really run away. Triple kill coming out from Stormer, and it was a bait and switch all along.
Yeah, they take away Aegis, but 2 buybacks on GG side, and the Void still have the Refresher Orb, which I think you kind of instantly use after your Chrono, because the same cooldown, not the same cooldown, it's 30 seconds more, but you usually just use it.
I guess he
don't
might
want to wait.
Yeah, yeah, very likely that that's the case.
You don't want to wait 2 minutes 20 just to have the 2 minutes 50 refresher orb up.
29k net worth advantage now for Entity. Gaming Gladiators. They may manage to take down the Quap the first time, but that's pretty much it the entire time. Like, they kill off the Aegis, they kill off, you know, a support here and there, but they don't get all 3 cores taken care of.
Yeah. And we were just talking about the Spark Wraith defending high ground. There's also the magnetic field.
Yeah, with the shard now as well, so it does give that nice little addition to anything in it. You push enemies out of it when they want to try and go for the buildings. And it also gives that attack speed increase on towers, which is kind of nuts. 80 attack speed bonus on towers.
And depending where you get Chrono, it can help, I believe.
Well, you can slightly push someone, the enemy, to a bit of annoyance. But normally you just walk into it and look at these Spark Wraiths. It's beautiful.
Man, Pure is so strong. He's going for Daedalus. I just wonder. Okay, he's probably gonna like use Refresher, micro it, and use the Daedalus, right? Because all the other items they seem necessary.
Maybe
BKB, Satanic Lincolns.
Maybe he'll put his boots away because he has Ags. His movement speed is not. Movement speed is not really that important. You get that immediate first hit bash anyway.
Yeah. And he's close to 30. He's gonna have that sweet extra range on Chrono. AoE.
Look at Celery. He's just all the way in the bottom lane pushing it out. TP's coming through. Haha. They fortified a little bit too late. Haha. Tips him as well.
It's super good to force a fortify. Super, super good.
Oh, Celery's still dead. Or is he? Glimmer. Other direction. Dodge and weave.
He has a TP.
Yeah, but he's greedy.
He wants to cut one more wave. He wants to have some fun.
There we go.
He's gonna see the Queen of Pain and he goes for the wave.
Or does he? He's considering it, but the Queen of Pain is a little bit too close by. She's gonna farm.
Oh my god.
The Quap sees the creeps and everything. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, no. Spotted again. Did the courier fly over him? Might have been just out of range. And he finds the creeps. Is he gonna go for it? No, a bit too risky.
They're pinging Boom. but Boom has the ward. Okay. Enigma nearby. Tips out.
Should get the TP to safety. I'm just curious in seeing Celery just cutting creep waves 24/7.
Yeah, I wonder in that case if it's better to switch the Blue Thorn for the Vice, so you can cancel those TPs of your cutting waves all the time. They want to go for Celery again, Toby.
Celery!
Use the refresher for the double blink.
Oh, this is actually really impressive.
Oh, there's a DD top.
Oh, they're gonna catch him this time. But he gets rid of the debuff with the Witchbane, and he's going for the Shallow Grave TP out. Gets cancelled though, thanks to Toby, and finally Celery will die. But they find Fishman in return in the meantime. So, you know, Celery, sometimes you talk about creating space. That is the ultimate space creation. You drag them all the way towards their own tier 3 towers.
They want Diracho. Can Katomi find him? No. And bottom, now it's Void Spirit against Queen of Pain.
And Boom trying to do the exact same play, though has to be careful because Boom does not have a buyback for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, he does have the Stormcrafter, which is his Scepter, right, for the Dispel into the Queen of Pain, which makes even more the case for a Vice here. Stormer, again, he finds Ace, but no way to cancel that TP. Enigma has the 25 talent. You see a lot of Eidolons down mid.
Let's see.
Are you ready to rumble?
Also, by the way, he went for a Hand of Midas on Tofu. For like a 45 minutes of Midas.
Man, he definitely doesn't want a 1 hour game. He wants a 2 hours game.
Oh, high ground defense. One team can't push, the other team is godlike at defending, but can't fight. This is a weird stalemate.
But besides the gold, it makes a lot of sense on the XP side. He wants to have those talents, and he's not getting any XP when he's locked at base. So, you see, he even buys the Tome, he wants that 25.
Enemies. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tempest double cooldown reduction. Or Tempest double duration. I would assume cooldown reduction. 50% seems insane.
Yeah, especially because he has Octarine already. So it's like Tempest double is always up. You just get the left one if you don't have Octarine.
Tofu Arc double. No! The money! $300 for Stormer. And look at this, top lane. Celery, he bought a Hand of Midas as well. They're going for that actual the tier 5 item gaming.
Something to make the game faster. Roche timer only 8 seconds. So there's already Roche.
Yeah, that's a refresher shard for a lineup that already has 3 refresher orbs. Celery, Shallow Grave, TP out, interrupt is just in time, and Celery is gonna die again.
By what right?
They're pinging Roche.
Another Ags. Who's gonna get the Ags this time?
I guess Queen of Pain.
He can almost buy his own full Ags with the recipe. I'd probably give it to someone else.
Yeah, the support got something.
They're actually friendly.
See, man, you just need to wait 52 minutes, so your cores are gonna remember a few when they have something to give away. Pure. He's without the Satanic to have the refresher orb with Aegis.
Going on the Arc 1 double. Will be taken down. So someone does lose about half his HP for that. A new Arc 1 double is already ready to be summoned. Chrono comes out. He's level 30. That Chrono's for AoE is pretty nutty. Diracho is going to get taken down a little bit too late there for Celery to rejoin the fray. And a couple of buybacks needed. Second Chrono coming out to play. Pure also has that shard for the third Chrono if need be. He's going to go in for the backline. Ultra kill. And the Black Hole comes in. That's going to be Pure getting his Rampage going in. And he does get the Rampage. The only one left is Diracho. And that's the GG call. Rampage for Pure. Black Holes, Chronos, everything. Double, triple. We'll see it all over the place. But in the end, it's an entity with their massive ultis managing to secure the win in 53 minutes.
Yeah, they had the cores that scaled better, and they had a good lane on top. I believe it has to do a lot with that. And again, like then the team that had the advantage executed really well. They just gave away one chance of GG to come back to the game on that bottom team fight, but it wasn't enough. Faceless Void, Queen of Pain, Enigma, they would definitely scale more than a Beastmaster, Void Spirit, Dawnbreaker lineup. So it's a small thing. It's like a first minute thing that the Enigma has the lane swap, but I'd say it has a lot to do with them winning. It makes such a huge change because you have like a sort of Beastmaster pre-game that becomes a terrible Beastmaster game just because of one lane swap that you didn't counter from G side.
Yeah, A started the game off pretty poorly. Did recover pretty nicely, but there were some very nasty team fights all over the place in this second game. This is what we were looking for and hoping for. But ladies and gents, we'll be going towards a short little break. Game number 3 after the break will be ready, so there will be more of these shenanigans. We'll be right back. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 was a slugfest between the two sides and a complete turnaround of what we saw in game number 1. So right now, I don't know where game number 3 is going to be headed, Assini.
Yeah, can go both ways for sure. Hopefully it goes like the second game, that it's a very exciting game with big spells, not such a one-sided game as the first one, but let's see which team can bring it up to the game 3, because Gaming Gladiators with such a fast game 1 win, and then on the second game, it felt like they were just delaying the game without any hopes of winning.
They did have that one moment where pretty much Entity made a massive mistake by going in towards the enemy's tier 3 tower bottom. But besides that, for the most part, they did have pretty good control. It was super performance as well coming out from Toby in that game number 2 on the Enigma. Very clutch black holes. And just in general, the team performance was on point in that regard. But that's a game where you pretty much get to draft every big cooldown that you ever want. I assume that they're going to try and focus against it a little bit more this time around. We'll jump into the draft right now because a surprise first hero pick has come in. Oh no, who would have thought? It is the old classic Tiny picked up for Entity. Yep, it's 3 games in a row Katami gets the Tiny secured.
But Puck is open this time. So they changed the buns on Gaming Gladiator. Okay, I thought they would give away Tiny to get Puck in exchange here. It's a pretty decent opening again. Against the Tiny, you have Dazzle and Bristle, 2 heroes of right click, physical damage. Pretty strong against the Tiny, but they simply cannot fall on the same trick again. That it was Dazzle didn't play Tiny's lane, because Tiny was playing with Enigma on top. So they need to take care with this lane swap, because it can be a disaster again. And Viper already a strong counter to the Bristleback. It's a very hard matchup during the entire game. Like, okay, you get BKB, that's a time that you actually get to fight the Viper, but overall it's super hard.
Yeah, I especially think the ulti from the Viper is pretty hard to deal with for the Bristle because of the slows. Keep him away. That's kind of what Bristle excels at in the late game. You just run around with hasted movement speed and 500 auto attack damage.
This pierces BKB. Yeah. At least then you still have your passive up, because then the Nether Toxin is not proccing. But Viper is so strong against those offlaners in the meta, those position 2 sort of safe laners, sorry. So those position 2 safe laners, Bristle, Monkey, Bloodseeker, they all rely on having a passive, and cancelling it is very meaningful.
It does, of course, we know that Duracho likes playing the Bristle, but there's also still the flex possibility to give it to Ace and then get a completely different safe laner to try and win the lane that way. So it does have some flex behind it. I assume it's going to be against Celery on the Dazzle. He played a really good Dazzle last game. And with the Dawn, I have no idea how they're sorting up their lanes already. I do think that they're going to need to get something as initiation, though, on the Gaming Gladiator side.
Yeah, so... And they banned the Puck. I thought they wanted for them, because then they stopped banning first phase. But they didn't ban the Bloodseeker this time. So they have this long fight, and Bloodseeker is open on Entity's side. They really lacked team fight on the previous game. So I'd like to see Entity countering, like going team fight also. Like going this Bloodseeker type of hero, going some like Warlock type of hero, which is super strong against Bristleback with a Fatal Bond. They also have Wyvern as a possibility.
No, Wyvern's banned. First phase. Gaming Gladiators.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that was the first. Yeah, okay, so Warlock. I'm thinking team fight, position 5. You have Trint, you don't want to pick Trint. You have Warlock, it's great. I want a plan B for Warlock. It's Wyvern, it's banned.
I just want to see pure play OD safe lane. Come on, give me that OD safe lane. It's a okay game so far.
It's great against the Bristleback.
And also against, I assume also against the Dawn.
Yeah, and you can just ban the target that Dazzle uses the Shallow Grave, and then you finish it.
It is okay to pick it, but they're not going to pick it because, you know, we're not going to be that lucky. Or what other heroes?
Viper
would
OD
be nice?
seems really weird.
Yeah, it definitely.
Too much
that might be a
backline.
bit too much. But a man can hope.
Warlock Bloodseeker is my dream
Dire's
here.
turn to pick. Radiant
Clockwork.
Clockwork,
Okay.
pretty great to find the Dazzle. Pretty good to... Okay!
Okay. We saw that one actually getting banned out yesterday when Entity played. And with the Fishman Clockwork in front of the Sniper, this becomes a whole lot more interesting. That means Gaming Gladiators definitely need
10
dive.
seconds
They need
remaining.
the last two heroes probably need to be very mobile.
Dire's turn to battle.
I speak for the
Nature's
trees.
pretty mobile.
Yeah, reasonably
You can-
mobile.
Yeah, you can find Sniper on the back line. Not so good against Clockwork though.
Good against Viper.
They cannot. Yeah, it's pretty decent against Viper. You have units and you can just like TP out.
10
Viper has no
seconds.
ways of canceling TP. But that Viper will be always playing with a Tiny, which
5 seconds
kind of
remain.
ruins that game plan that Viper used all the spells. I'm just TPing to base. He cannot pull those split push shenanigans because you have the Clockwork canceling the BKB TP.
Radiant's turn to battle.
Does have a good lane though.
Yeah, do you think that
Because
this is a safe lane NP or a safe lane Bristle?
I don't know, man. GG, they just... You need to see the full picture here.
Yeah, they are kind of whack in that
10
regard.
seconds
They can
remaining.
pick whatever. They can pick a mid laner, a 5-4,
5
3,
die
2,
seconds pass.
3-1. They ban Batrider. Timber is open. That's the first thing you see when someone bans Batrider, but Viper's pretty decent against the Timber. But Timber's decent against the Tiny, the Clock, and is a hero to catch Sniper,
10
and also helps
seconds.
with
It is
those
Radiant's
lane
ban.
swaps that they had to deal in game 2 that really killed their strategy.
Okay, they ban out some extra boom heroes with the two spirits taken care of. Zeus is also banned this time around because, well, Zeus is
Razor
amazing.
open,
10 seconds.
although doesn't seem good to any side, but
5
What for
seconds
Entity,
remain.
they just love Razor. Although I think it's a hard carry Sniper, right? So
Yeah, it's
they're very
pure
likely
sniper.
missing a mid lane or an off lane that they can...
I think both sides are probably going to be playing the last pick mid lane. Well, Entity might have something that's a bit flex with the Tiny, possibly. Considering, you know, if the enemy picks a hero that a Tiny is good against, you could put him in the mid lane. Gaming Gladiators, I would assume that their last pick is going to be just the boom pick. And, you know, I'm always going out on the expectation that it's just going to be the Quap. They just played against it, got beaten in the lane by Stormstormer Quap, and sometimes a bit of pride comes into play where you want to do the exact same thing.
I'd like to see a bit more of team fight coming from that hero. Maybe even the Invoker. Think about like Stormstormer pool. Otherwise, like something like a Pangolier.
Yeah, but then you'd be like, oh, he needs to go Crosswax because it's a good Crosswax game.
Yeah, it's a good Vessel game, but then the Viper is building the Vessel, so he can go XR. I allow him.
Yeah,
What options do you also have?
Stormstormer Invoker is always just prime Stormstormer right there.
Choose.
Quap ban. They actually banned it themselves. Okay, that's interesting. Now I don't really know what Boom's gonna go for. Broodmother. Let's go.
Silence is super good against the enemy lineup, like especially global silence. So pick a silence for mid.
I was already
Void
thinking,
Spirit.
where are you going with global silence?
No, just thinking because like if the Dollbreaker nature, if they cannot connect to the team fight, you win the team fight. So
It
go
actually
silencer.
makes sense.
Throw Tiny mid.
But then you have a sniper and a silencer on your lineup that's literally just, you know, paper getting shredded the moment they get on top of you.
I think like you have two approaches: going for the Dazzle in the backline or actually protecting the sniper. So you pick a tanky hero.
I think a Void Spirit probably for Gaming Gladiators now that Quap's also banned.
We need to see what entity shows first. I like to see like a tanky hero, whatever, tight Pungo sort of hero again.
Pango. Yeah, Pango is one we haven't seen in this series yet, or in a while. And there's the Storm Evoker. When in doubt, pull the Storm Evoker.
Just bring up possibilities, but you're sure he's gonna go back to the comfort, right?
Yeah, it's his favorite hero, and rightfully so. He's amazing on it.
It's actually super good for Nature's Prophet against Invoker. It's one of the best heroes against Invoker in the mid lane matchup.
5 seconds remain.
If they want to flex the Prophet. But still, yeah, it really looks like a Void Spirit for this back line.
Dodges the Tornado EMP easily, so obviously you have to go Exort.
Unless you wanna Brood Mother this Invoker and go.
That's, you know, it is boom. We can always hope. Lil Gun still runs the Brood Mother safe lane every single game.
Oh, they already played Meepo once, right?
I just, no. Just don't go Meepo. I mean, I would like to see it, but I don't think that they will attempt
I'm thinking
that
like units.
Yeah, Void Spirit.
The default.
Make the ultimate choice.
When in doubt, Void Spirit. Stormer on the Voker. So, your 2 cents, looking at these 2 drafts, where does the Astini brain lean to?
I trust this Sniper. Feels like a really good game for the Sniper. I think he's well protected with the heroes he has. Bristleback's gonna have a rough time reaching his timings, and yeah, Sniper is just too strong of a hero if you don't have the right tools to reach for him.
So, Entity is his prediction. I'm a follow you. I think Entity as well. Storm Evoker. How can you not go with Storm Evoker? Please go Exort. Please go Exort. But for the most part, yeah, to be fair, both lineups look pretty solid. The Gaming Gladiators, the only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is that they, you know, once Force Staffs and the like come in, Katami with the toss, it's going to be really hard to catch the Sniper. You also have the Stormer throwing out all the spells, Tornado and whatnot to keep the enemies away. And Dawnbreaker is a hero that kind of, like, Void Spirit needs to jump in and then Dawnbreaker can ulti. And yeah, if Void Spirit jumps in and he gets Ava tossed, then he's dead. And that's what I'm a little bit worried for. I think Ace not playing any, you know, as you said, like a Pango or something, so that you can already separate the team fight a little bit, could be a bit problematic for Gaming Gladiators.
I think like the Sniper pick is really clutch because it kind of makes GG go away from their first 2 pick strategy. Like you have Dazzle, Bristle, you have this sort of like, let's just run it then. Let's just take towers and get map control. And then you see a Sniper and you suddenly are like, okay, I cannot be hitting towers. I need to kill Sniper so I can hit the tower. So you kind of kill the synergy of the lineup on GG side. Like you want to protect this Dazzle, right? Because Bristleback is supposed to be our frontliner. And then you have a Dazzle on the cover and Dazzle cannot get exposed. But you need to jump on Sniper, so you have like Void Spirit jumping, you have Nature's Prophet using the teleport, you have Dawnbreaker with the Solar Guardian, but then your Dazzle is totally exposed.
Celery will probably just get like the Blink Dagger that he did in last game. Vision game is still pretty good though on the Entity side because you do have that Clockwork from Fishman. So his main goal is probably every single time jump on Celery.
Yeah. And I feel like, okay, it would be like a Sniper for Dazzle trade, which looks amazing, but basically GG would be totally out of position on the team fight after that and use all the cooldowns.
Also, Stormer went Exort. Yes! Finally!
It's fine, because it has a Viper that can go over. Look, the Viper, he went for the boots now.
30 seconds to battle.
Movement speed, I guess.
I like it.
Against the Bristleback, kind of want to stay out of range.
Against the Hazer, I would think it was even better on that game. But it's good. He's missing the stick though.
Well, yeah, you don't have enough money to buy both.
Yeah, but
he's not that rich.
Yeah, but after bounties he's gonna have.
Yeah. Though Toby actually going for the viscous nasal goo. They're looking. Are they gonna? Okay, try and kill off Toby's on the run. Maybe they'll get a hit in. That armor reduction is pretty nice. But the Ava plus the Shrapnel's coming in. Celery is in trouble himself. Toby might just get first blooded. No, it's going to be Celery losing his life first. The first blood secured. Plus the bounty runes will be a 2-for-2 trade. And that's actually, I mean, it's still definitely pretty good for the Gaming Gladiator side. But could have been a lot better.
I don't know if it's pretty good, because First Blood went the other way. And it went to Pure. I'm actually happy if I'm Entity here.
Are they gonna tri-lane?
To make it worth, they need to kill the Viper twice. Yeah, tri-laning is definitely the right decision here. Not tri-laning, but like going for the Viper again, like making sure he doesn't touch the creeps. And after you have level 2 on Bristol, then you can leave it. But I just want to make sure he's not touching creeps.
At top lane, Ace is using his treants to pull the lane back. But of course, Fishman does the exact same. And then you're going to have two separate... Pretty much you're playing with 4 lanes on the map. 2 in the top, 1 in the mid, and 1 in the bottom.
Toby and Katomi now going for Celery. But they know that Tofu is here because he's playing super safe.
He's not top. Where would he be?
Jungling, man.
Yeah, easy. The Dawnbreaker jungle. Very, very solid. Okay, this is getting a little bit insane. At least, you know, the Bristle's getting all the free farm in the world.
Somewhere, someone lays blame.
This is a weird situation. Feels like a couple of years ago, you had those lane swaps all of the time, where the safe laners were level 1 while the supports were level 3. Because they were just in the middle, like, do I go top, do I go bottom, do I go top, do I go bottom? That kind of is the situation here, though. Toby, finally he tries to get a bit close to the creeps and needs to get himself TP'd out. Will get the TP to safety, but of course loses most of his HP and now has to walk back to the lane. So eventually, they do manage to get sort of what they wanted.
Yeah, it was worth the wait here and worth having Ace with 0 last hits, because the Nature's Prophet, he can definitely recover his game afterwards. Fishman going for Ace with the Sharp now.
But Tofu is now top side. Abnel does do a significant amount of damage plus slows, so they need to dip out for a bit. Even with Tofu there, I don't really think the lane does become that much easier for Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, but then Ace, he can recover on jungle, and Viper can't. That was the point. Viper has trouble farming, Nature doesn't.
What have we here?
Storm in mid is doing a pretty good job against Boom. Plus side of going Quas Exort against a Void Spirit is that you just have a better chance at farming. Considering you can't really EMP him if he just levels Dissimulate and he just jumps away every single time you try to combo him.
Yeah, and he does have lockdown on 2 supports, on Tiny and Clockwork. That means that both side lanes can set up for the Sunstrike.
And of course, it's just better. It's that simple. It's just better. There's Toby being chased out, but that Viper's having a horrid lane. Kataomi with the toss away as well. Very annoying. Now Kataomi's actually getting blocked. That heal bomb. Oh, the Tiny. Does he get away? No, he does not. And that's going to be a kill secured for Duracho. His second of the game is going to go for the Vanguard. It should look like a very good, quick game to get the Aghanim Scepter on the Bristleback.
Yeah, if you want to look if the game's going to be fast for the Aghanims, you need to actually look for Vex. Even though he's having an amazing lane, I don't see heroes stacking for him. So it's gonna be a good timing, but not the quickest.
Yeah, you probably are gonna need to get... I mean, Tofu is also not necessarily the greatest hero. And the Dawnbreaker to get those sacks is actually pretty decent. But you probably do need to expend your Celestial Hammer.
Oh.
Get a 2-camp stack.
Ace quick buy.
And a Midas. He's gonna contest with that mid lane Voker that's also going hand to Midas. Look at where the creeps are fighting each other, by the way. They're in front of the Roche pit. They're all over the place right now. But yeah, Stormstormer's Hand of Midas is going to be done very quickly.
It's approach I wouldn't expect at all. Because it feels like they were going for that fast tempo accelerate the Sunstrike.
That's why you play the Exort. Katomi is the one that gets the kill. Horatio, he just wants to walk in and continue his Quill Spray stacks. Sunstrike is on cooldown, luckily enough, so it doesn't have to fear that much. Otherwise, he probably would have died as well.
He can still kill Katomi with the force actually.
Oh, they're going in actually. There's a Sunstrike available. It does need to place it correctly, and boom goes the dynamite. Stormstormer gets the kill. And yeah, that's a pretty happy Voker. His Hand of Midas, 6 minutes, 7 minute Hand of Midas timing, not too bad.
You wanted that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be expecting a Midas on Nature's Prophet side. He goes mid.
It's a 4-man gank at 6 minutes in to deal with Stormstormer. Rotation from Katomi as well as Fishman, the two supports joining hands. But luckily enough, the Treants are tanking the tower hits.
It's not only to deal with Stormstormer, it's because it's catapult time. So if they have the Nature's Call to tank the tower, Fishman. Okay, alive. So the catapult's gonna do a lot of damage to this tower.
Yeah, but Pure is getting a full free lane on the sniper, and that is also very scary. Sunstrike in, onto Ace, the toss up, takes a lot of damage. Katomi gets another kill, and they're actually coming in. Pure as well with the shrapnel. He goes for that take aim headshot. Shenanigan Tofu will fall, and they are losing a couple of players here on the Gaming Gladiator side with their aggressive mid play.
Yeah, and you're sleeping mid. Otherwise, if they miss all the farm, Celery that also in jungle. It feels really bad for Entity. Really, really bad because felt like with for GG.
Okay, I was already a little bit worried there.
It's good that because it feels like when you have Bristol, you need to snowball. You need to hit that Aghanim timing, go Roche, and snowball in the map. But when you see the Nature Prophet going for Midas, you already wondering like, okay, they actually don't want to use that timing. They want to go something like late game. They need to scale on Nature's Prophet. But if you go for that scaling game, I'm pretty sure that the Invoker is going to outscale you. And we've seen on yesterday's series that
Shallow grave there. Katomi will die in return. Duracho also rotated towards the mid lane.
yeah, we've seen that a Viper can actually scale, right? We've seen a Viper carrying a game.
Yeah, but that's, 1 in 20 games. So you can't always bang. Well, okay, to be fair, Duracho, game 1, also really good on the Viper. Okay, 2 in 20 games then.
Yeah, but you have like 1 stun on GG side, so he can just like stay in lane and recover his game. Although I said like, okay, he's not a jungle farmer, they go for Tofu.
He's level 3. Sunstrike's not going to connect at the very least, but yeah, Toby level 6, Tofu level 3, and that is easy money right now. Toby's actually catching up to Boom slowly but surely. That pretty much shows you exactly how good his lane mid has been.
Yeah. Because like Viper can just stay in lane, unless it's like a Doll Breaker rotation. Okay, the Void Spirit has the Remnant, but it's something he needs to initiate. So basically you feel like you can just stay in lane and farm and farm and farm, you see a rotation, you TP out.
They're playing so ballsy as well in Entity, just standing in the front lines next to the tower while the Bristleback's walking towards them. No fear whatsoever. They have Pure just AFK farming. He's got the Dragon Lance plus Power Treads already done in 9 minutes time. Going for the Maelstrom next. Like, this sniper's not being harassed whatsoever. And there is so little actual catch to take him down in this game.
Yeah, and they need levels to have those catch. They need levels, they need items. Okay, you have a Nature's Prophet, you can teleport into the sniper. But you're not gonna throw Midas at him. Meanwhile, Tofu dies bottom again for the Avatos combo. So you cannot kill him. You can get close to him, but you cannot kill him.
Fishman being chased down, might just get taken down and will die. So tries to do a little bit of Ras, has the Sunstrike available if need be. Duracho is gonna get tossed underneath the tower with the slow on top. Duracho Sunstrike's not actually gonna connect, but he should still fall regardless. That's such a nice combo as well.
Oh, they go for pure. That's a good smoke.
Oh, do they manage to take him down? He is dropping quickly. He's trying to get the kill on Celery in the meantime. Actually, he does. Okay, he just lost half his HP in half a second.
Yeah, still good. Good trade for GG. You need to kill the sniper, shut down his timings. So it's fine. You lost to Dazzle. The thing is, like, Dazzle not getting the XP from that gank, he's still level 5 with 11 minutes in. I'm not so sure who bought the Dome, if it was like
Tofu
Ace,
did.
that was... Okay.
But yeah, he was also severely underleveled.
Yeah, and he's 5 still. That's the thing. They're not ready to fight mid because they're missing this short amount of XP to the level 6.
They have had that obs in mid for the almost full duration of the Observer Ward as well. So right now, if you give away that there's a ward up there, you won't really mind.
Yeah, you even make the enemy team tilted because you get a pick off and then he's gonna ping, oh, they have vision, and then comes the support. Man, they don't have vision.
How did
Why
they
you
do
crying?
that? Why are you lying to me?
crying.
That cost me 50 gold, you
You
bastard.
died because you're bad.
Oh, wow.
Should see some SA communication. They go bottom for Toby. That's the kill.
That's a nice kill. HTP's in as well. He still finds Tofu, but like, that's the thing. Every single time they get ganked, they still find a kill before they die.
Yeah. They have so much damage output.
And of course the, added Sunstrike, because Expert Voker is the superior Voker, as we all know. I know that you're now not saying anything because I know you like the Wex more.
Nah, I'm just wondering, like, he's the guy that plays this hero, but from someone from outside, I think this build is like too greedy, like going to travel dagger. Like, he splits too much. That's what I've seen on the game he played. And I feel like if he just builds to join the team and have a team fight, Invokers can be a heavy team fight hero. But he's building like heavy split and not team fight.
Yeah, he kind of needs his items at the ready and then, becomes a complete monster in the late game. That's pretty much what he tends to farm like. Because if you play Quaswex Foker, normally he's in the middle of all the cores. Even if he has a good lane, his farm tends to not be the greatest. Just because he doesn't have the same farming tools. But the downside is that you do very easily die to a gank. Just like there. You are very squishy. Same with the sniper. If they spot you out with a multitude of enemies, obviously, then you do still die. But the problem in the later portions of the game is getting on top of you, getting to that position, which is not gaming Gladiator strength, especially not with the Tiny and Clockwork as the two supports on NT. That's a lot of peel and jump that they have.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, but Nature's Prophet Midas starting to pay off somehow with this greediness on farming from Entity and greediness on build, because they are not making plays. They had 3k ahead and they didn't look for any kill on the map. GG is the team that's actively playing. And you have a Clockwork Tiny, you should be the one playing actively. But then it goes back to the item build.
Yeah, Tiny almost has his blink. He's probably just going to farm it up onto Kataomi. Void Spirit looking to try and defend the tier 1 tower towards mid. Stormer wants to push it down. He can resummon the Forge Spirit, which definitely does help a significant amount. And AC's going to go for the shard. Needs to wait, of course, until it's 15 minutes in. And with that shard, you're looking to do a lot of split push shenanigans on the NP this game.
Yeah, you also counter the key B that Invoker just bought, the Quelling Blade.
That's also a very nasty little combination. Foker wants Blink, BKB. Let's see, Sniper. He's got the Maelstrom done. Hurricane Pike next. Toby's got the full Spirit Vessel finished up, which is a very superb item to have this game against the Gaming Gladiators lineup.
With me.
Need items
definitely.
on their part.
The Vessel, Bristol,
Pure.
Vessel.
He's gonna get jumped, and this time Pure dies without getting anything in return.
This is as kind of
So
Not yet. They will.
yeah,
They will.
Boom with the meatball on top. Still dropping low, and eventually he does get taken down. The Viper walked away, so he actually doesn't get any Spirit Vessel charges for that one, which is slightly annoying.
Yeah, I feel like Sniper is dying because his team's not making plays on the map. So it gets easy for GG to know where the heroes are at, and you can do any moves you want. Because your moves, they don't become obvious. Because there are like no heroes in your part of the map scouting it. They want to go for Tofu, at least. No.
Yeah, they're just trying to farm. Stormstormer is level 12, but Duracho is like right behind the Sniper right now. He's actually farmed incredibly fast. His Ags is not going to be the fastest timing, but it is pretty swift regardless. 500 gold away from securing the Aghanim Scepter on the Bristleback. Do you think, you know, that Ags is kind of go time for Gaming Gladiators? Or do they still need a bit more?
It's go time for Roche, definitely. Especially because, on the other hand, like having Volker with Travel Midas Dagger is like 6k net worth that doesn't really contribute for a Roche fight. So although the game is even on net worth, it's pretty decent for them, this exchange. Like Nature, yes, he does have the Midas, but he has Shard already. And the Shard makes
Tofu getting tossed all over the place, will be taken down. Does have a buyback in case it's needed, of course, to rejoin the team. Net worth-wise, both teams pretty equal. Tier 1 tower mid should drop momentarily as well. And I like the fact that Toby's going for the 4-staff. Because, yeah, Tiny after his Blink is going 4-staff as well. They all just want 4 staffs to kite this Bristleback around. Celery, that would be a pretty big kill. Sunstrike comes in, Shadowgrave keeps him alive. Fishman's actually in trouble. Down with the toss. Tosses Duracho onto Toby. The break comes into play. A lot of damage with the Alacrity buff going in. Duracho is just melted by Toby. And in comes the Dawnbreaker Tofu. Can he get away? This is a pretty painful spot to be in. He's going to get tossed back. Kataumi holds him down and smacks him out. And yeah, if you give the Alacrity buff to the Viper, he does become very scary.
Yeah, it's a core scaling. Yeah, very underwhelming for GG on the that on the first team fight with the Aghanins. He of course needs the BKB. Boom, going for Pure. Not enough damage though.
Yeah, Pure's pretty tanky. Hurricane Pike actually gonna jump and chase after Boom as well. That's for good measure. He is going for the sniper build with the attributes, because Assassinate is terrible.
Yeah, he's doing more damage right clicking. He doesn't wait this 2 seconds channeling a spell.
Oh, Grove Bow as well. Okay, extra 100 attack range. Yeah, sure. Let's have a hero with 1100 attack range. Yeah, that makes sense.
They're pinging Ace. They have the tools. They have Dagger.
Fishman has a hook shot. Oh, hello. Hook shot in, holds him inside the cogs. Ace does pop the ulti, but there's the massive TPs coming into play. Avatos. Sunstrike did connect, and Ace Shallow Grave just barely keeps him alive. And now they kind of need to be a little bit careful. Duracho, though, same story. Other player, Pure, gets the Alacrity buff. He's got a double damage as well, looking for a catch onto Boom. And he just chunks away at this Void Spirit. Jump to the side, but it is going to be Pure nonetheless, because he's that godlike range with the take aim, everything on top, and they do manage to still make it a worthwhile fight. They only lose their 2 supports.
Yeah, it gave me at the beginning some flashbacks of game 2 that they dive into engagement, because Clock, he went under tower, and the Tiny felt like, I'm not sure I want to go, and it looked bad when the Shallow Grave came out, but there was no ultimate on Dawnbreaker to connect. So this long fight for the sniper was actually good. Turns out really well for Entity.
And Stormstormer going for the Scythe, and that's gonna... Well, he also has a 4-staff. So now the actual impactful items for the Voker will come up. He has all his farming tools pretty much with the Blink, Midas, and the pots. And the rest is just gonna be pure utility. And eventually Ags, hopefully. Because Cataclysm, always fun.
There isn't many AoE control.
True, it's just for the main part annoying. And it's also, you get +1 for like your Quaswex and Exort, which is always a nice addition.
Katomi.
Catching mid, boom, takes a lot of dot damage, Spirit Vessel charge on him as well, but he's got Celery nearby. Actually, Stormstormer coming in, Tornado meet the ball onto Celery, boom, dropping low, nice Aether Remnant. Celery will just die throwing everything he has. Sunstrike, oh! How does he stay alive? That's the Kaya Sanch right there. It was pretty neatly done, and they're still chasing the toss forward, dissimulate, dodge, avalanche, guesses it correctly as well. These guys are playing 4 DHS. They guess the Sunstrike, they guess the avalanche, they guess everything.
Yeah. And no answer at all from GG side. They feel like they cannot take team fights. They need the BKB on Diracho. They also need this Midas on Ace to pay off, so he wants to split to get time. Also going for the BKB. That's the timing they are waiting for, but might be too late. Because Entity, they are already guaranteeing the Roche.
Yeah, that's a very quick Roche take. It's pure with that Aegis. Sniper has a Shadow Blade now as well. He's going for the Silver Edge, obviously, because you need to have a break against the Bristleback in the later portions of the game. But now with that Shadow Blade, you're going to need to get Invis detection, which is going to be slightly annoying. The Void Spirit and the Dawn already have it, but even with that, you know, you're going to have a Voker and a Sniper just running amok through the entire team fight.
This fight seems so hard. I'm trying to see like an angle from GG here, but Sniper with Aegis. What do you do? Diracho?
Going in, can he get a catch? His mana's drained. Stormstormer gets out of dodge, or does he? Boom is still trying to chase him down. They're throwing everything to catch Stormstormer. Nice hook shot in. Stormstormer dropping low and eventually does die to Tofu, Celery, and Shallow Grave. He's actually staying alive for now. Toby going for the right click on the back line. They're all on the wrong side of the tracks here though. Boom still has Dissimulate, almost has his steps available. And hello. Toby just peeks up at him for a sec. Toby a little bit too slow with the Ava. But Boom is going to get taken down. Toby gets the kill with all the dots.
Yeah, that's the approach from GG. You try to get any kills. Toby's tipping Ace. And then when Sniper shows up, you run. You run. Because you barely can kill him once. You definitely cannot kill him twice. They have vision on Ace because of that deep ward. So they're definitely setting up a kill here on him. TP, not gonna work. Would they wait for the stun strike though? Yeah.
But the Treants soak up all the damage. Battery Assault somehow does not connect onto the real one.
Oh my god.
He was really hoping for it as well. He was like, please, please, force F to the side. It has to hit from here. It has to hit from here. It
he
can't.
was even like changing the angle, right? So if it doesn't work on that, this one might work. BKB coming on. Oh no, has the Recipe. He doesn't have the Ogre Axe. He just probably. So I was baited. Still some time for the BKB on Bristol.
Tofu's going for the Ag, so you got that big healing coming into the team fight as well. Plus 60% evasion, which is, you know, that's no scoffing matter if you can get it on the Sniper. Downside is, of course, the Sniper. He's also going for the Shard, so then he's going to have a Hurricane Pike, a Silver Edge, and a Shard to get out of range. And suddenly gets 3-shot, literally, by Pure. Just tap, tap, tap. Cool.
They found Tofu also.
Tofu, big fan, 4-staff to the side, going for the TP out. Do they catch him? Oh, Stormstormer hits him with the Gold Snap. And Tofu will not be able to disengage either. Pure on the low ground, they're giving him all the kills. You know, you're the safe laner, go ham.
Yeah, he buys the shard, some sort of escape somehow.
It's really good.
Kind of,
It's
kind of
insanely good, especially
force
against the
that.
Bristle. It's kind of like a Hurricane Quake, because you knock the enemies back while you also get pushed back.
Oh, they find Jiracho. He has no PP.
Slowly
They
but
still
surely,
come back.
very slowly, they're trying to kill him.
Yeah, but they took him away from the ancient farm. That's pretty good. He has BKB though. Aegis will be gone in 1 minute. Probably. Oh, Wraith Pact. That's huge. Oh,
Radiant
GG.
structures are
They
fortified.
probably want to wait for the Aegis and pick up a fight with this Wraith Pact.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Wraith Pact is a pretty nice tool, though. They have a couple of heroes that are pretty okay at killing it in like half a second with the Sniper and the Viper.
Dire's structures are fortified.
The sniper sort of need to get out of position, even with the
Tower is under attack.
attack range. They can kite it pretty
Some
well.
Stormer TP top, so this might be a moment where they could try and get a fight with that BKB under Racho done. Aegis is going to expire in 30 seconds, though. And Pure has a double damage. Maybe not.
Yeah. So they have a scepter. No, dispelling. Tofu is going for Agony. That can be huge, but it takes 2k gold for support. We're looking at like 5 minutes or one great team fight.
Yeah, they're going in on to Boom, Dawson back, and he's dead in midair. Fishman actually gets the kill with the hook shot damage. That is a solid 175 damage, timed it to perfection.
Tower is under attack.
Ace completing the map, but Invoker can just mirror his moves with the travel, and they are not worried to show Invoker bottom because they just feel way too strong.
Pure, he's standing on the high
That
ground.
might be the fight. That might be the fight they're looking for.
But the break comes in on to Duracho, pops the BKB, tries to turn it around. Pure, he just continues farming. High five, doesn't care. BKB is used on Duracho now as well. And that's a very big problem.
They seem not to be on the same page. Now you can tell that they're not on the same page. It's not like that they use 2 spells on the same very second. It's basically, you see an opening on Sniper, Bristleback Trust, it's an opening, but the Nature Prophet doesn't join at all. So he presses the BKB, and like the timing they were waiting for the entire game, that BKB on Bristol, they just throw away and need to wait for 1.5 minutes more.
And Sniper is a hero that can siege pretty effectively from the low ground with that insane attack range and Shrapnel giving vision of the tower.
You also have the Rocket Flare giving vision.
Yeah, they do have not the greatest high ground. They have a pretty okay high ground defense with the Void Spirit trying to like get a jump in and do some damage, but they also don't have either a Tiny or a Clockwork. Which of course is on the entity side, and that makes high ground defending a little bit tougher. Speaking of tough, Tofu, does he get the TP away? Yes, he does.
The thing is, they actually have a terrible high ground defense, but the true defense is Shoving Wave, splitting the map. It's what Ace is doing. He's doing that pretty well, honestly. That didn't die for so long.
Going for the Witchblade on the as his next item on the NP. Okay, that's an interesting choice. Feels late to get a Witchblade.
Yeah. Maybe he wants the upgraded Witchblade afterwards.
Revenant's broke.
Revenant. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you also need an E-Blade, and then you can go ham. But it's one of those things where you need like 15k extra, and then you can be amazing.
That's all he needs.
You just need to double your net worth right now. Go.
Okay, the supports, they smoke behind the Bristol. They basically know that the enemy team has vision there, so they're trying to bait that they initiate on Bristol.
Well, they're going to go in. He does have a BKB available, does pop it. And the TP does get interrupted, but Duracho is going to go for the back line. Does he get them caught? Fishman, nice hook shot to keep him alive. Pure is in trouble. The Sniper is getting a lot of damage against him, but Duracho, he's going to get broken. The Tornado actually keeps him alive for a second longer, but in the end he does falter. Pure is going to get taken down. Ace with the BKB right-click fight against Stormer. Toby is also here, and Ace is forced to TP out of there. Otherwise, he is going to get taken down. Katomi with the double 4-step forward, trying to catch up to the Dazzle. But luckily enough, Celery has his own as well. And with that kill secured, hey, Tofu gets a double bounty going for the TP. Ah, battery assault. Catches him. Have a toss. Tofu. Still getting away. No mana for a hook shot.
And he knows like 2 heroes are at him, so they can kill the Viper mid. Or they
Can they though? With the double buyback, maybe. You're lucky that Toby doesn't have a shard.
One buyback they can.
Yeah, no.
One buyback they can.
Viper is pretty tanky. 2.8k, Hurricane Pike, got plate now as well. If he has shard, that building would, the tier 3 tower would have been done.
Yeah, Pure, he was very out of position on that team fight. Props to GG, because they baited this engagement, like knowing that they would fight under enemy vision, but they were the ones smoked, so they would get some heroes out of position on the enemy side. But he barely died, so he's going for a Satanic, because just a small amount of lifesteal is enough to keep him alive. Imagine like when he has the Satanic completed with all the extra HP, with all this 175% life.
Yeah, they know probably not have any problems. They don't have any healing reduction either on the side of Gaming Gladiator, so in that regard he is pretty much a happy camper. Ace did, by the way, go for the Deso. I think that's a better choice than the Witchblade, because Deso at least gives you like rat backdoor potential a lot more than a Witchblade would. But if he gets both, then I'm again very confused.
With me.
It gets also more team fight.
Okay, they're gonna go in onto Boom, the toss back again, and Boom, Shallow Grave, nice usage there, Celery. He does get the double dive to the side. Fishman's actually in a world of hurt here. That's gonna be the big heal bomb coming through. Fishman is dead. Toby is the next one in trouble. Needs to disengage. The slow's being thrown up by Storm, but the BKB means the Ratchet cannot be stopped. Ace going for Pure on the back line, but Ace, yeah, he got outrun in the meantime. Now Duracho needs to be careful because he does not have a BKB available anymore, and that's where Stormer can throw his entire barrage of spells on top of him. Slowly but surely, he is going to be able to disengage for now. Can they get on top of him? No, Stormer still chasing. Has a scythe in 3 seconds. Meatball not going to be able to connect, but they need the vision. There's going to be the Hex. Duracho is going to be controlled. His mana is gone. And Toby with the Alacrity buff going ham as well. Duracho so close to disengaging. Still healed up in the end. Sunstrike does get... Oh my god, he gets away. Somehow magically does run back to safety. That is Celery right there as a god coming through.
Yeah, but it's a dieback on Celery. A free Roche for Entity now. Buyback also on Void Spirit. He wanted to re-engage on the team fight, but he couldn't. That's his Aghanings. He was very, very close to it. It could be a game-changing item, but he just spent on the buyback that he didn't actually get to do any use out of that. He just stayed in base, afraid of what was happening. Yeah, this is really difficult for GG. They need to count with Entity making many mistakes. The best way to force the enemy team to mistakes is what Ace is doing, splitting the map, maybe Invoker TPs to deal with it, and you get like Viper alone or Sniper alone. They need some outplays here to be back.
A Pure getting caught off guard, you know, 2-3 times in a fight. That would definitely be a very big plus. Stormer is roaming across the entire map the entire time. He is actually top net worth. He's currently ahead of Pure. And that's pretty impressive. That's boss Exord Voker right there.
Yeah, he has 400 creeps. He has more creeps than the Sniper. Because with the travel... Of course, most of those creeps belong to the Trint, are the Trints that belong to the Nature's Prophet. Not most, but let's say at least 50. So that's where the advantage comes from.
And he's going Octarine Core as well on Stormer, which is going to be a very nice item to have. Ace, pop the BKB, 4-staff back. And that is going to be the BKB of Ace on cooldown, which is pretty neatly done by Storm. He's also level 25, Radial Deafening Blast. Always big value.
That's the thing, the 20 talent in Nature's Prophet super broken. but it's countered by 4 staffs. Can you look how many 4 staffs there are in Entity?
Let's see.
Show
1,
the viewers.
2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone's got a sort of 4 staff. 2 of them have it upgraded. But yeah, that's kind of what you expected as well when you saw the draft, thinking the only way that they lose is if they catch the sniper. Everyone just buy a 4 staff sniper, doesn't die.
Yeah. It helps protect the sniper, but definitely protects you from the Sprout. Also, Bristleback can be really well kited.
They're constantly looking for Ace. Tofu's also doing some split pushing in the top lane. They mark it up. They're actually wasting a lot of time here on the side of Entity with trying to catch out Ace, and Tofu are dealing with the split push.
Yeah, I'll not say wasting, because they have no other choice, right?
Yeah.
They need to catch those heroes, and the net worth advantage is just going higher and higher, so they're not in such a rush. Yes, they do have the Aegis. Yes, it's nice if you can push during the Aegis, but it's not a must. Like, they're getting more and more net worth.
Toby, he does have the shard. I think that might have actually been the shard from... Is that the shard from Roche, or did he buy it himself? Did they give it to the Voker? I'm not too sure. Actually, I think they might have given it to the Voker, because he has a lot of extra cash.
And now they're going high ground. That's the catapult wave. That's the one they want to use. Viper with Alacrity. Oh my god.
Viper with Alacrity and shard. Buildings just melt. That dot going absolutely ham.
Yeah, Dazzle tried to get close, and he needed to use Shadow Grave on him. He doesn't have for the bridge.
Ooh, Sunstrike in.
Oh, the Sunstrike!
Oh! Oh! They just burst him! They just burst him! High five! You're even standing in front of the enemy's fountain. Like, yeah, sure, high five! Gotcha!
Yeah, Nature Prophet is split pushing top, trying to force someone back, but you need to be back. There.
Sunry is dead without a buyback. And they don't have a save now. Boom is just going to get absolutely wrecked. Pure's going ham. This is free farming. Easy money, easy games. He's going for the rampage. Into the fountain. He dies with the satanic. Going ham. Gets the mega kill. Toby actually gets the tofu kill. That is painful. Can he get it here secured on Ace? And he does. Rampage for Pure coming into play. And that is going to be Entity shutting it down. What a weird last fight.
Can you call it a fight?
Okay, what a weird last annihilation.
When both sides hit, you know? Yeah. Like, they couldn't get close to the sniper. There was just like dying fountain. They were like fountain farmed by the sniper.
That was pretty beautiful to watch. Pure just literally stand on the enemy's high ground and just pop away. Easy picks all over the place. But yeah, Tofu, you know, they tried their best on the side of Gaming Gladiators. Tofu and Ace with the split push the entire time, but in the end they just had too much of an advantage on Entity to deal with that sniper, especially with 5 4 staffs on their team.
Yeah, they played the early game really well. They built really well into those 4 staffs. It was already a really good game for the sniper. And yeah, it proved that the draft did have its strength with the sniper not being able to be catched by the enemy side.
Big props to Entity. They're going to be going to the grand finals, which will be casted tomorrow. But that does, of course, mean that for us it is done today in the beautiful ESL close qualifiers. And this was a very fun series to watch. Game 1 was a little bit on the slower side, but Game 2 and Game 3 definitely had very fun engagements, Astini.
Yeah, reminder that the finals are best of 5, so even more fun for everyone that tunes in tomorrow. And yeah, thanks everyone that tuned in today. It was a pleasure, and yeah, see you.
Yep, that was it for us for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you enjoyed the games as well as the cast. My name is DK Truman. I was joined by Astini. We hail from the South American DPC from last season. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Live beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? If we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, if we go down, if we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, we go down in history. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? If we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, if we go down, if we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, we go down in history. Beautiful life, beautiful life, don't you think? It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? If we go down, we go down in history. If we go down, we go down in history.
No, we never choose. Always wishing for something to come true. What can you do when, baby, you know the love got you? Love got you. Love got love got you. Love got no, we never choose. Always wishing for some.